Part 9. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 81. Blinded. At this moment, countless people in the world are deceived. What does it mean? What does this mean? Fang Yuan? This should be Guyu Fang Yuan's fault. Hand over the spring-autumn cicada? It must be that Guyu Fang Yuan got the spring-autumn cicada, or made the spring-autumn cicada, but it attracted others to covet him, and he was knocked on his door. Good guy, is this Fang Yuan? What the hell is a demon? A villain? In order to become the spring and autumn cicada? Killed tens of millions of innocent lives? Is this the son of luck in this world of goo insects? I hate this Guyu Fang Yuan so much. Stealing someone else's innocence and killing their entire family. Also killed 9 tribes. Is this Guyu Fang Yuan? Good guy, this Guyu Fang Yuan is simply a devil. Son of luck? Devil? The villain? I was so dumbfounded. Devil? No way. Can a devil also become a son of luck? Aren't all the children of destiny a great and upright being? Aren't they all against the injustice of fate? Aren't they all righteous? Why, this Guyu Fang Yuan is actually a demon. Make no mistake, the son of luck is the son of luck, and Wei Guang is Wei Guangzhang. Who says a child of luck can't be a devil? Who says the son of destiny can't be a villain? A double standard dog like Tang San. Haha, I really appreciate this. Finally, I met the lucky son of a man from the devil's path. Not bad. Who said that my demonic path has no children of destiny? Who says I, the devil, will never have my day? Isn't this son of fate coming? Hey, Guyu Fang Yuan? Interesting. At this moment, countless people in the world were discussing and talking. This news was really shocking. They never expected that Guyu Fang Yuan turned out to be a demon. His behavior was extremely cruel. Finally escaped the framework, finally broke away from the stereotyped image of the son of destiny before the 6:30, that's it? Who said that the son of destiny is righteous? Who said that the son of destiny is Wei Guangzhang? Can't a devil be the son of fate? Yu Fang Yuan? At this moment, countless people from all over the world are interested. They want to see what kind of devil Guyu Fang Yuan is. Beast. What did you do that is so outrageous? Huh? What? Killed tens of millions of people to refine the spring-autumn cicada? Oh, if anyone really knew how to refine the spring-autumn cicada, let alone tens of millions of people, there would be hundreds of millions of people. I want to give it a try. Not to mention people from the demon sect, even people with the right path can't stand this temptation. Spring-autumn cicada, it's so outrageous. Just listen to those guys who want Guyu Fang Yuan to hand over Chun Chiu cicada. Fight. With the thought of exterminating demons and defending the Tao, don't you want to get the spring-autumn cicada? At this time, you can see in the picture, in the demon cave in the wilderness mountain range. Guyu Fang Yuan, wearing a torn green robe, disheveled hair, covered in blood, he looks like a giant of demons. And around him, there are countless monks, looking at Guyu Fang Yuan with indifferent eyes. Obviously, they are all here to destroy Guyu Fang Yuan. As for Guyu Fang Yuan, this demon, people can kill them. Just look at the state of Guyu Fang Yuan at this time. You can tell that Guyu Fang Yuan can't hold on for long. There are too many people around. The so-called righteous way of the famous family, the so-called justice, the soldiers all came to kill Guyu Fang Yuan. Of course, whether they were killing for the sake of killing, or whether they were killing for the sake of the spring-autumn cicada, that is not known. However, it does not matter to others. They all want to kill the demon Guyu Fang Yuan anyway. Just looking at the situation at the scene, we know that the overall situation has been decided. Guyu Fang Yuan will definitely not be able to escape this time. In this regard, Guyu Fangyuan just somewhat regretful. After all, it failed. At the same time, all the worlds, at this moment, also knew the identity of Guyu Fangyuan. It is also magical to say that this Guyu Fangyuan is actually a person from another world, and he is a famous person. As a person on the earth, he traveled to this world by coincidence. 300 years of bumpy life, 200 years of traversing the world. 500 years passed in a hurry. Now, he still has to face death. However, this death, Fang Yuan had actually expected it. Because, as a time traveler, he took a different path. Others took the right path, put on the coat of justice, and flaunted themselves as righteous no matter how they acted. But Guyu Fangyuan is different. The so-called devil's path means not cultivating good deeds, but killing people and setting fires. The world cannot tolerate it, and everyone in the world is an enemy, but he still wants to indulge in whatever he wants. Yes. Guyu Fangyuan is walking the devil's path. He, from the beginning to the end, is walking the devil's path. The heart and nature are the basis. This is where his own character lies. So what if he takes the evil path? What if he takes the righteous path? It's just a choice. Others have choices and take the righteous path or the devil's path. And Guyu Fangyuan, he didn't even have a choice. What choice? That's all bullshit. He just wanted to do it, so he did it. He wanted to refine spring-autumn cicada, so he went to refine it. As for refining spring-autumn cicada, many innocent people need to be killed, so what? What does it have to do with him? Therefore, in the eyes of others, he is a devil and a heinous beast. Ha ha, ha ha ha. At this moment, Guyu Fangyuan suddenly laughed. If the newly cultivated spring-autumn cicada is effective, he will still be a demon in the next life. At this moment, a glimmer of hope emerged in his heart, a hope that he would never give up at any time. So. Boom. At this moment, Guyu Fangyuan brazenly self-destruct. The terrifying wave spread thousands of miles and swept everything in an instant. And similarly, before self-destruction, Guyu Fangyuan directly used spring-autumn cicada. Buzz. At this moment, in the void, on the long river of time that no one can see, a cicada, with a ray of light and shadow, goes upstream. Everything in the world is reversing, everything is going backwards. It's like it was as if someone had pressed the rewind button, and time began to flow backwards. The spring-autumn cicada exploded with all its power, and with that spot of light, it quickly returned to 500 years ago. At this time, Guyu Fangyuan was still young, the awakening ceremony has not even started yet. Now he is only 15 years old. Guyu Fangyuan is reborn and returns to his youth. At this time, countless people in the world saw this scene, and everyone was speechless. This is the first time to see a serious rebirth going back to how many years ago, right? This Guyu Fangyuan, tisk tisk, is he actually a demon? A bit interesting. The future is a demon, and then he is reborn 500 years ago. I feel that this world is going to be in disaster. Indeed, a demon was reborn and returned to 500 years ago, with 500 years of knowledge accumulation and 500 years of foundation. All we can say is that this world is in danger. At that time, maybe the whole world will collapse due to Fang Laomo. Although this world is not as weird as imagined, Guyu Fangyuan is actually a serious demon. If possible, he really wants to enter this world and kill this old demon so that he can return to the world. Bright world. Bah, the wishful thinking of you old guys is totally ruined in my face. What are you thinking? Do you really think others don't know? Isn't it just the jealous spring-autumn cicada? If you want to kill people and seize treasures, you still have to find excuses. Do you still want to flaunt yourself as a saint and righteous? Ugh, disgusting. Oh, this is the right way? Laughing to death. Tisk, do you know why you are not children of luck? The sons of destiny kill people and seize treasures, that's engraved directly on their faces. Their goal is to kill people and seize treasures, but they never flaunt themselves as saints. Oh, Tang San doesn't count, these losers are the sons of destiny. The world is simply blind. So, you old guys who want to get good things but can't save face, tisk, look down on you old guys. Humph, the people from the demon sect are deceiving people again. What is so deceptive? Haha, I also want to kill Guyu Fang Yuan. Yes, I just want to get the spring-autumn cicada. What's wrong? Unlike you, hypocritical. At this moment, countless people in the world are scolding and taunting each other. There are always some righteous people, and there are always some people from the devil's section. At this moment, because of the appearance of Guyu Fang Yuan, the so-called righteous people and the devil, the people in the sect started to troll each other. Just when everyone was trolling each other, I saw that the screen of the Dao Gold list turned. In the screen, a pale-faced, somewhat delicate and immature young man appeared. This person is related to the future demon. The appearance of Guyu Fang Yuan on his head is vaguely similar. Yes, this is Guyu Fang Yuan when he was young. 500 years ago. Spring and autumn cicada really works, Fang Yuan murmured, letting the rain fall on him. All this is not a dream. He really went back 500 years ago. In the past, no one dared to use spring-autumn cicada because no one had ever seen anyone successfully using spring-autumn cicada. Because to use the spring-autumn cicada, you have to sacrifice your own life. If he was not desperate, Fang Yuan would not use spring-autumn cicada. Now it seems that the spring and autumn cicada is real. It's just a pity that this good goo took a lot of effort, slaughtered hundreds of thousands of people, made people angry, and took a lot of hard work to refine it, Fang Yuan sighed. What massacre of hundreds of thousands of people. It seemed like it was so easy in his mouth. This is the real devil, the serious devil. The kind of devil who never takes life seriously. This change in the character of the Son of Destiny made countless people in the world feel a little uncomfortable for a while. Among the previous Sons of Destiny. Even if these Sons of Destiny kill people and seize treasures, it is impossible for them to do so. Say it calmly. Some people even rob other people's things and kill people, but they first label others as evil before they do it. But Guyu Fang Yuan is different. In order to refine the spring-autumn cicada, he could kill hundreds of thousands of people. What? Are these people good or evil? So what does this have to do with me? He only knew that killing these hundreds of thousands of people would allow him to refine the spring-autumn cicada, and that was enough. This is him, Guyu Fang Yuan. At this moment, countless people in all the worlds are feeling somewhat psychologically uncomfortable. Of course, with the exception of the people in the Devil's Path. Some of the people in the Devil's Path are cold-blooded and bloodthirsty demon perverts. As for Guyu Fang Yuan's massacre of hundreds of thousands of people, for them, it's just basic operations. In fact, not only demon cultivators, but even righteous cultivators, those with strong strength will not take so-called mortal lives at heart, mortals. Just ants. Those powerful righteous monks didn't say much. Instead, the young juniors, who claimed to be righteous rising stars, angrily condemned Guyu Fang Yuan one by one, saying that Guyu Fang Yuan was a devil and so on. Countless people just sneered at this. Just stupid. At this time, as the scene in the Avenue Gold list continued. The story of Guyu Fang Yuan continues. At the same time, everyone has a rough understanding of Guyu Fang Yuan's situation. Guyu Fang Yuan was born in Guyu village in Qingmao Mountain in southern Xinjiang. Everyone in this village has Guyu as their surname. As for Guyu Fang Yuan, both of his parents died and he was fostered in the house of his uncle and aunt. He also has a twin brother who looks exactly like him, Guyu Fang Zheng. Since Guyu Fang Yuan is a time traveler, In order to protect himself, get attention, and get better living conditions, he has shown talents that are different from ordinary people since he was a child. He can speak in March, walk in April, and recite poetry at the age of 5. He is extremely intelligent and talented. It can be said that he is the absolute genius of the entire Guyu clan. This is Guyu Fangyuan. Well, it's just a benefit for time travelers. Similarly, it is also Guyu Fangyuan's means of self-protection. Without his parents and sending samples to his uncle and aunt's house, all he can do is show off his genius, so that he can be valued by the clan. However, all of this came to an abrupt end with the awakening talent. Others thought that Guyu Fangyuan's talent was either first level or at least second level. Unexpectedly, he only awakened AC grade. There are 4 levels, A, B, C and D. A is the best, B is slightly inferior, and there are 2 levels, C and D, which can only be considered the lowest. Ordinary people might still be happy when they awaken to level C. After all, being able to become a Gu insect master is already a great honor. However, if Guyu Fangyuan awakens to level C, he will be criticized and criticized by others. Because, as a child, the aura of genius was too dazzling, and it was inevitable for others to be jealous. 5.3 When he grows up, his talent awakens to level C. If he doesn't laugh at him, who will he laugh at? The most important thing is that his younger brother, who has a low sense of presence, has awakened a first-class talent. This made more people start to ridicule him. This is Guyu Fangyuan, this is everything Guyu Fangyuan has experienced. Until now, he used the spring-autumn cicada to return to his youth, with 500 years of memories and 500 years of heritage. He returned to the eve of awakening his qualifications. Countless people in all the worlds at this moment don't care whether Guyu Fangyuan is a demon or not. Each and every one of them looked at the Avenue Gold list with concentration. Guyu Fangyuan was reborn and returned. All of this should be broken, right? I have to say that being a reborn person is so satisfying, to make up for the irreparable regrets of the past. Cut off the fate that was not yours back then. This is the advantage of being reborn. This is the life of a cheater. Guyu Fangyuan, this time, should soar into the sky and completely slap countless people in the face, right? Countless people think so, and then Guyu Fangyuan, grade C qualification. At this moment, along with the Dao Golden List, a vigorous and powerful voice came out. All heavens and worlds! What the hell, you have been reborn, and you can't find a way to improve your qualifications. In the end, you are still AC grade? Countless people were dumbfounded. They were expecting Guyu Fangyuan to show off and get slapped in the face. In the end, Guyu Fangyuan still followed the steps? C-level qualification? What the hell, are you kidding me? Have you even improved your qualifications in the past 500 years? Haven't learned the method? Are you confused? At this moment, countless people in the world are really confused. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 82. Speechless. At this time, everyone was speechless. This is all reborn. As a result, nothing has changed, so why is a hammer reborn? What the hell, what about this 500-year realm? What about these 500 years of accumulation? Where is the wisdom of these 500 years? Could it be that there was nothing that Guyu Fangyuan could get to improve his qualifications? Or AC grade? This also depends on the hammer. I thought that Guyu Fangyuan would be like Chen Baichuan, relying on the advantage of foresight to start showing off and slapping people in the face. Result, that's it? A reborn person? That's it? You've all been reborn, and this is still the case? Isn't this boring? No way, right? Are all reborn people so one-out? Nothing has been changed, so why should I be reborn as a hammer? Gu Fang Yuan came back again. What did he do? Neither the past nor the future will be changed. What's the point? What about cutting off the who? Where's the promised cut off? Not even cutting off the beard? What kind of rebirth is this? At this moment, countless people looked at the Dao Golden List, and each of them was speechless. Gu Fang Yuan reborn. But damn, there is nothing that a reborn person should look like. What about showing off? Damn it, you are just showing off. If you don't show off, I'll feel really bad. He is obviously a reborn person, but the result is still the same as in the previous life. What to expect? I really didn't expect this. It can be said that countless people read Gu Fang Yuan's story as a novel and picture book. At first, the expectations were too high, but in the end, after seeing Gu Fang Yuan come back, nothing has changed, which makes people feel a little depressed. What the hell, nothing has changed, why are you reborn as a hammer? Don't even pretend to be cool. What are you doing when you come back again? We're both in 7th place, why the hell don't you learn from Li Qi? Don't you want to learn from Chen Baixuan? Li Qi and Chen Baixuan, the two powerful kings, are simply enjoyable to watch. That pretentiousness is simply refreshing and refined. But now, Gu Fang Yuan is also ranked 7th. It's just that he's not showing off. How come he hasn't changed? Is this really worthy of 7th place? 14 At this time, countless people are thinking and discussing this. In all the worlds, it is called a fever. At this time, the world that covers the sky. Finally I saw someone who wasn't pretentious. Ye Fan chuckled. It's so rare. I thought those in 7th place were all pretenders. Pang Bo also sighed with emotion. However, Gu Fang Yuan, immediately, Ye Fan frowned again. To be honest, he doesn't like Gu Fang Yuan's acting style. He has never been a virgin, but he also knows that monks do go too far when attacking ordinary people. The key is that in order to refine the spring-autumn cicada, Gu Fang Yuan actually slaughtered hundreds of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people. This is equivalent to massacre of the city. This kind of person has become possessed by a demon. He is deeply demonic. Children of luck can also appear in the devil's path. It's really. Ye Fan sighed, and for a moment, he didn't know what to say. At the same time, perfect world. Killing hundreds of thousands of people just to refine spring-autumn cicada, if possible, I really want to compete with this guy. Shi Hao looked at the Dao Golden List and frowned slightly. He was also not happy with this kind of person. He was not flaunting himself as a holy mother or saint. However, he really wanted to kill this kind of devil. Boy, you only saw the surface. This Gu Fang Yuan is not simple. He has gone out of his own way. At this time, Xioda's voice sounded. Going out of your own way? The magic way. Shi Hao curled his lips. Yes, it is the devil. But it's not the magic way you think, but the pure magic way. This Gu Fang Yuan is really not simple. This demon is not controlling him, but he is controlling the demon. From beginning to end, he was very calm, without any disturbance, without any emotions controlling him, and without the madness and evil intentions of the devil. He is the devil himself, he controls the devil's way. Xioda spoke, his tone was very solemn. Real or fake? Shi Hao was stunned. This was the first time he heard Xioda comment on a person like this. There are thousands of great ways in the world, but those thousands of people are within the Tao. Regardless of any Tao, it is Tao that controls them. Even if there are monks in the world who are possessed by demons, the demon is controlling them. The person who can truly control the Tao, after taking stock of so many issues, Gu Fang Yuan is definitely the number one person. Xioda opened his mouth. Shi Hao frowned slightly. Boy, skip the phenomenon and look at the essence. The so-called demons, the so-called gods, the so-called Buddhas and the so-called immortals are actually the same. Just staring at the evil of the other party, how is it different from the mediocre people in the world? Xiaoda said leisurely. I see. Shihao's eyes flickered. At this moment, he really understood what Xiaoda was talking about. With a thought in his heart, he looked at Guyu Fangyuan in the Great Dao Golden List again, and for a moment, he felt something different. When he looked at a person outside of that frame, he realized that everything was different. Snow World. What a devil, what a monster, Su Fengnian was a little surprised. Do you still have the nerve to tell others? If it were you, it would only be worse. The white fox's face curled its lips. That is, Su Fengnian smiled proudly. The white fox was speechless. Am I praising you? What do you have to be proud of? This kid has a deep demonic nature and has become a real demon. Li Chungang narrowed his eyes and spoke quietly. Become a demon, a real demon, old Huang also murmured. He also saw it. This kid is not as simple as an ordinary devil. He is a real devil. He is an existence above the devil. From those cold words, from that slight in the emotionless eyes, Guyu Fangyuan is anything but simple. There are thousands of mediocre people in the world, but how many of them can really look at everything outside the box? Someone saw this. Some people are still waiting for Guyu Fangyuan to show off and slap her in the face. However, this is normal. Not everyone would care whether Guyu Fangyuan is a real demon or pure evil. At the same time, in the world of Gu worms, it turns out that he is the son of luck. Or a reborn person. Guyu Fangzheng looked at Guyu Fangyuan, who was on the Great Dao Gold List. Looking at the face that was exactly the same as his own, his expression became a little distorted. Why? Why is a third-level person better than him in everything? He is obviously. Why can't Guyu Fangyuan's first-class qualifications be compared to Guyu Fangyuan's? And is Guyu Fangyuan a reborn person? Is there spring-autumn cicada? He subconsciously clenched his fists and his eyes were red. He wanted to kill Guyu Fang at this moment. Yuan, avenge the village. Guyu Fangyuan is just an inhuman beast. Looking at the Dao Golden List again, everything is clear. A time traveler. A devil. He was a devil in his previous life, and he is still a devil in this life. Guyu Fangyuan, Guyu Fangzheng roared, and the sullenness and anger in his heart violently vented out at this moment. Unfortunately, he wanted to kill Guyu Fangyuan, but he couldn't do it. Because he didn't know Guyu Fangyuan was there at all. Which? At this time, somewhere in a hidden place. Guyu Fangyuan looked at himself in the Great Dao Golden List and looked at what he had done with a calm expression. No trouble. He has been hiding for a long time. The moment the inventory appeared, the moment he was on the list, he hid. There is also the spring and autumn cicada in his hand. Such a heaven-defying goo insect must be. He will be coveted by everyone. Therefore, he hid it early and no one could find it. However, looking at the past scenes in the Dao Golden List, some memories flashed in his eyes. All the heavens and worlds he has also seen and heard countless people's comments and discussions. But, he just wants to say, boring. What do these people know? Golden finger? His golden finger is the spring and autumn cicada. Rebirth, memory, and wisdom is experience, not qualifications. In fact, he has been planning from the beginning. Weaknesses can be used. Strong ones can also be used. Everything he has, everything he plans, everything he thinks, finally creates this kind of result. In the eyes of others, he has done nothing. But in fact, he has done everything. It is not that there is nothing that can change his qualifications. It is not that he does not know what can change his qualifications. He can even cheat to let others know. Others think that his qualifications are incredible, but there is not enough time. So, he needs to plan other things. But, how many people understand? Ah, Gu Yufang chuckled. At this time, with the discussion of countless people in all the worlds. In the Great Dao Golden List, the scene is still going on. Did Gu Yufang really do nothing after being reborn? It's obviously impossible. There was no so-called show-off, but the various plans were clearly displayed in front of everyone. Due to time constraints, Gu Yufang could not cheat on his qualifications, nor could he improve his qualifications, so his qualifications were still grade C. But this class C can't be used. Gu Yufang started to get drunk. At least that's how it seems to outsiders. To others, this makes sense. After all, for a genius to fall from the altar with only C-level qualifications is a blow to anyone. Therefore, Gu Yufang naturally started to plan and cut off Hu. The first person he cut off was the alcohol bug. About 2 months later, a Gu master in the tribe started to get drunk because of a broken love. Then, he fell drunk outside the village. As a result, the overflowing aroma of wine unexpectedly attracted a wine bug. The Gu master was overjoyed and wanted to capture it. The wine worm fled in a hurry, and the Gu master followed closely. Following the traces of the wine worm, he discovered a hidden cave entrance. Then, inside, the remains of the flower wine walker were discovered, as well as the legacy left behind. Not only is this legacy a treasure, this wine bug is also a very good first-class Gu bug, the kind that is stronger than the moonlight Gu. Liquor worms, first-level Gu worms can help the Gu master to refine the true essence and raise a small level in the practice of the first-level realm. The true essence thus refined is the Gu master's own true essence, not a different kind of true essence. If used to warm and nourish the empty orifices, there will be no sequelae or risks. This is what Gu Yufang wants to cut off. And this thing needs to be led by wine. You are just pretending to be drunk, and you are just pretending to be depressed when you go out for a walk. His purpose is to attract this wine bug. More than a week. Gu Yufang tried countless kinds of wine, but in the end, he used the good green bamboo wine to lure out the wine bug. Cut off the beard and get it? This first opportunity has arrived. Of course, this first opportunity also led to Gu Yufang's real golden finger, spring-autumn cicada. Yes, the spring and autumn cicada is not a one-time consumption of Gu insects. The spring-autumn cicada took Gu Yufang back to 500 years ago. It almost exhausted all its power, but it still had a breath left and was not dead yet. It was also because of the wine bug that the spring and autumn cicada was completely inspired. This also made Gu Yufang fully aware that he had already had his natal Gu, and spring 900 autumn cicada was his natal Gu. He was reborn, and everything he had in the past was gone. The Gu insects and cultivation were all turned into a dream. Only the spring-autumn cicada followed him back to 500 years ago. As for the Gu insect master, the first Gu insect to be refined is the Gu insect master's natal Gu. The natal Gu is closely related to the Gu insect master. The stronger the natal Gu, the higher the Gu insect master's future achievements will be. Although this spring-autumn cicada has run out of gas and is extremely weak, this spring-autumn cicada is also a level 6 immortal Gu. A first-level Gu master has a 6th-level immortal Gu's natal Gu. One can imagine how far Gu Yufang will grow in the future. It can be said that from this moment on, Gu Yufang's life is really going to be cheating. Even if he doesn't cut off his hair, he can still rise and grow to a height that is even stronger than in the future. Of course, the wine bug won't let him go either. Wine bugs are also considered to be the best voodoo bugs. Therefore, he also needs to refine the wine bug. Similarly, in order to prevent others from noticing that he has a wine bug, he also needs to refine the moonlight Gu. Moonlight Gu attacks the Gu-like insect, the Guyu clan suppresses the clan, and has long-range aggression. Configured by secret techniques, it is crystal clear, like a piece of blue crystal, and weighs only about a piece of tissue paper. It can condense into a palm-sized blue moon blade in the air, with an attack range of 10 meters and feeds on moon orchid petals. In other words, Guyu Fangyuan had just turned around and already had 3 Gu worms. A rank 6 immortal Gu spring autumn cicada. A 1-turn wine bug. A 1-turn moonlight Gu. At this point, countless talents in the world have discovered that this world of Gu insects does not seem to be what they imagined. The number of Gu insects in the Gu insect world can be said to be infinite. And a Gu insect master has never said that there is an upper limit to the Gu insects that can be refined. A Gu insect master can refine as many Gu insects as he wants. Of course, the premise is that you have enough money to raise Gu. Generally speaking, this Gu insect master's cultivation system is definitely much better than any soul master's cultivation system. Other Gu insect masters can also create their own Gu insects. The spring and autumn cicada is the best example. And what about the soul master system? Can the soul ring be created by oneself? Maybe it will be possible in the future, but right now, it seems that the soul master system is just a bunch of excuses. Immediately, everyone looked at the Dao Golden List. The 3 Gu were in hand. Guyu Fangyuan can finally show off. Be the first to refine Moonlight Gu, take first place, and receive the UN Stone reward. Be the first to show the ability to control Moonlight Gu and get the UN Stone reward. After that, he stood in front of the school and openly extorted other students, paying tribute every day and grabbing a piece of UN Stone each. Even his own brother will not be spared, there is no doubt that he will take his photo. Guyu Fangyuan's true nature as a devil is unmistakable. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 83. Tisk tisk, Guyu Fangyuan really has the heroic demeanor of a generation. Not even sparing the twin brother? Good guy, this is called a devil. Guyu Fangyuan is worthy of being my role model in the demonic way. This is what I call a demon. What kind of devils are those who still care about family ties? However, by the way, Guyu Fangyuan is really brave and attentive. Nonsense, this is the life experience of living for 500 years. Grabbing whenever you want, playing with the rules of the clan, this is called unscrupulous. How did Fang Lao Mo get surrounded and killed by those righteous people with his thoughts like this? They have said that it was a past life, and the experience of the past life will inevitably encounter setbacks. If you don't have this kind of mentality, what is the difference between it and a waste? When it comes to rebirth, Guyu Fangyuan still has something to look forward to, but Chen Baichuan and Li Qi are both cool kings, so they are just pretending to be cool. Guyu Fangyuan is the true wisdom. Haha, is that too much? He's just a demon, what's there to brag about? It's just that, he's just a devil, what's there to brag about? No matter how thoughtful he is, no matter how good he is still just a demon, old demon Fang, and everyone will kill him. At this moment, countless people in the world are clamoring. There are many people who can't stand Guyu Fangyuan. Of course, there are also many people who admire Guyu Fangyuan. At this time, in the world, countless people looked at the Dao Gold List again. In the picture, Guyu Fangyuan was being found in trouble. If Guyu Fangyuan was so unscrupulous, it was natural that someone was looking for trouble. It is said that the younger ones were beaten, and the older ones came. Guyu Fangyuan was so unscrupulous. Among the people Yu Fangyuan beat, there was one named Guyu Mobei. And this Guyu Mobei also had a sister named Guyu Moyan. Naturally, Guyu Mobei's grandfather would not care about the younger generation. After all, this is also conducive to the growth of Guyu Mobei. But Guyu Moyan couldn't bear this tone. So, he approached Guyu Fangyuan. Naturally, he wanted to teach Guyu Fangyuan a lesson. She wanted to take a breath. As for Guyu Moyan, as a second-level Gu insect master, it was naturally not a problem to defeat Guyu Fangyuan. So, she found Guyu Fangyuan, just. Guyu Fangyuan look Xiang Guyu Moyan said calmly, who told you that I am Guyu Fangyuan? Guyu Moyan was stunned for a moment, and subconsciously looked at the servant next to him. As soon as the servant heard this, he immediately broke into a cold sweat. He was frightened and stammered. For a moment, he didn't know what to say. Looking for he was the wrong person, that would be his dereliction of duty. As we all know, Guyu Fangyuan has a twin brother named Guyu Fangzheng. The two look almost identical. How can outsiders tell them apart? Even the clan elders may not be able to tell them apart. Not to mention outsiders like them. At this moment, faced with Guyu Fangyuan's words, everyone thought they had found the wrong person. In this regard, Guyu Moyan only apologized slightly, showing due respect for a first-class genius, and wanted Guyu Fangyuan to lead the way to find Guyu Fangyuan. Well, this sounds strange. Weird. But Guyu Moyan believed that Guyu Fangyuan was Guyu Fangzheng, so he said this. Guyu Fangyuan was very calm about this, and immediately took Guyu Moyan to the school. However, after arriving at the school and looking at the empty school, Guyu Moyan immediately frowned and said in a deep voice, Junior, you'd better explain clearly that there is no one in this room. Am I not a human being? Guyu Fangyuan chuckled. Guyu Moyan clenched her fists and said, what I'm looking for is Guyu Fangyuan. In response to this, Guyu Fangyuan stopped pretending and directly showed his cards. I never said that I am not Guyu Fangyuan. Teasing. This is just teasing. Guyu Moyan was angry. She wanted to pull off Guyu Fangyuan's skin. Without saying a word, she was about to go forward and capture Guyu Fangyuan. But at this moment, Guyu Fangyuan said quietly, Guyu Moyan, please think clearly, this is a school. The family has a clear rule that students are protected in the school. No one can break into the school privately and arrest the students. If Guyu Moyan dares to break into the school today, she will violate the family. This is not what she wants to see. She just wanted to teach Fangyuan a lesson. Moreover, it was just a violation of her clan identity. When the time came, she might also implicate her family and grandpa. So, Guyu Moyan took a deep breath and immediately stood outside the house. He cursed angrily, and the curse was unpleasant. But apparently, Guyu Fangyuan just sneered. Not only did he not pay attention, but he opened the door wider. It was as if he planned to let Guyu Moyan come to arrest him. He is really fearless. He has studied the family rules thoroughly and memorized them by heart, but he never wants to follow the family rules, but to use them. Guyu Moyan does not dare to enter the door, only dares to guard outside, but he not willing to give in. This is the sad thing about people. Sometimes, what prevents people from taking action is not material difficulties, but spiritual shackles. Even if Guyu Moyan has a second level of cultivation, he can only stare and dare not do it. But she didn't want to wait outside the door, so she asked her slave to wait outside the door. Guyu Fangyuan will come out one day. She still doesn't believe it. Guyu Fangyuan, can he still hide in the school for the rest of his life? Thinking like this, he left, leaving the slave alone outside the door cursing. Unfortunately, Guyu Fangyuan still turned a deaf ear and began to meditate and practice on his own. He didn't know the past. After how long, Guyu Fangyuan finally opened his eyes. In terms of cultivation, he naturally did not make any great progress in this short period of time. He has not really been promoted to the middle level, but he can already use the wine worm. The basic level of true energy has been transformed into an intermediate level. The most important thing is that the woman is gone and everything is easier to handle. The one outside is a domestic slave. In Guyu village, except for those with the surname Guyu, no one else, no matter how beautiful they are, would not help them awaken and become Gu insect masters. This domestic slave, at most, has a little bit of boxing and kicking skills. Perhaps, this slave can kill an ordinary first-level Gu insect master, but against ancient Moon Fang Yuan. Boy, you finally came out, the slave looked at Gu Fang Yuan with a ferocious smile. After cursing outside for a while, coupled with the cold wind, he shivered from the cold. His grudge against Gu Fang Yuan deepened. Now, finally, seeing Gu Fang Yuan come out, what else can I say? First take down Gu Fang Yuan, then let this kid suffer a little bit, and then hand it over to the lady. So, he took action. In this regard, Gu Fang Yuan is naturally not afraid, and in terms of killing experience, he is certainly not lacking. 500 years of combat experience is not something that the slave can compare to. Although his physical fitness cannot be compared with the slave, he is good at every move. All killing moves are fatal. He will hold back against fellow academies and disciples with the same surname as Gu, because he does not want to cause trouble. But how can he hold back when dealing with a domestic slave? Of course. Killing moves came out frequently. Finally, I found an opening and killed the slave directly. Yes, a straightforward killing. The movement here naturally attracted the guard. Looking at the guard, Gu Fang Yuan was expressionless. The expression. The guards were also shocked. Because, they saw Gu Fang Yuan kill the slave with their own eyes. Cleanly, covered in blood, like a demon. The guards were shocked. They never expected that Gu would kill the slave. Fang Yuan actually dared to kill people? It's terrible, it's really terrible. But obviously, these guards have no intention of asking Gu Fang Yuan any crime. The person who died was just a foreigner. As long as Gu Fang Yuan is fine, nothing will happen to him. So, they still stepped forward cautiously, wanting to help dispose of the corpse. How could they bother Gu Fang Yuan with such a thing? Gu Fang Yuan looked at the two guards, and then looked at the corpse on the ground. His face was expressionless, but what he was thinking about was, he might reveal that he has intermediate true essence. If the intermediate true essence is exposed, then, it is possible to expose the wine bug. The Moonlight Gu Moon Blade produced by the initial level of true energy does not have such a deep wound. If it is probed, it will definitely be exposed. So, give me the knife. Gu Fang Yuan looked at the guard expressionlessly. The guard was startled, and then handed the knife to Gu Fang Yuan. Then, they watched helplessly as Gu Fang Yuan dragged the headless corpse. Walked towards the school. After seeing Gu Fang Yuan's movements clearly, the two guards widened their eyes and swallowed involuntarily. Gu Fang Yuan, killing someone is not counted, he even dismembered that guy. Demon. This Gu Fang Yuan was simply a demon. When the mountain wind blew, the two guards trembled and shivered. At this moment, they still had some. I felt cold all over my body. I couldn't help but convulse all over my body. Early the next morning, the school went crazy. Everyone knew that Gu Fang Yuan had killed people, dismembered them and chopped them into mincemeat. All the students couldn't help but feel chills all over their bodies and panic in their hearts. Especially Gu Mobei. After knowing who Gu Fang Yuan killed, his face turned pale. That was a family he was very familiar with. Knew, who often taught him boxing and kicking skills, was also the most powerful henchman of their Mo family. But he didn't expect that he would die like this. He also died at the hands of Gu Fang Yuan. It was too cruel, simply too cruel. Everyone was 15 years old. The child. Who has ever seen such a battle? As for Gu Fang Yuan, this incident naturally alarmed the school elders. The elders asked Gu Fang Yuan to question. The person was dead, and there was no evidence of his death. No matter what Gu Fang Yuan said, no matter how dirty he was, that guy couldn't come back alive to speak. Why was it just for self-defense? Why was that guy evil-minded and wanted to kill him? Why was that guy possibly another copycat sect? He's an undercover agent. Anyway, let Guyu Fangyuan say whatever he wants. After all, it's just a foreign surname, not a real surname. If you die, you're dead, and it doesn't really matter. But the main thing is the Mo family. He needs to give the Mo family a explain. Then, the school elder asked again, then let me ask you, how did you deal with the body? A cruel sneer appeared at the corner of Guyu Fangyuan's lips. I chopped up that guy's body, put it in a wooden box, and put it at the back door of Mo's house at dawn. What? The school elder was shocked, stood up suddenly, and looked at Fangyuan with a confused face. Provocation. This is such a provocation. The elder almost vomited blood and fainted. But there was nothing he could do, the matter was over, what happened had happened, he still what can I do? I can only wave my hand and let Guyu Fangyuan go down and wait for the punishment. As for the punishment? Guyu Fangyuan just sneered. At this moment, the scene changed. Inside the Mo family, Guyu Machan, the grandfather of Guyu Moyan in Guyu Mobei, was furious at this moment, accusing Guyu Moyan. Obviously, they also knew about Guyu Fangyuan's murder. I told you earlier, don't worry about that Fangyuan, now it's okay, if you go to find Fangyuan to cause trouble, you are breaking the rules. I don't know how many people are watching my Mo family's jokes. Your wings are stiff, and you don't even listen to my words, right? What did I warn you? Have you completely forgotten all about it? Guyu Machan was furious. Guyu Moyan seemed to know the seriousness of the matter. But she was still a little aggrieved. The main reason was that Guyu Fangyuan was too abominable. He first lied, and she couldn't even scream out. Waiting for her as soon as he left, Guyu Fangyuan came out and killed the slave. He was really too insidious and too stubborn. This Fangyuan is precociously intelligent. If he hadn't been a C-grade person, he would have already become a member of my Mo family. Guyu Machan said, and immediately said, come here, bring up the wooden box. Looking at the wooden box brought up by the servant, Guyu Machan said Mo Yan was a little different and asked subconsciously, Grandpa, what is this? Want to know? Open to take a look, Guyu Machan spoke silently. After hearing this, Mo Yan stood up subconsciously, opened the lid, and looked inside. Then, her face changed wildly, and she felt a disgusting bloody smell rushing towards her face. She gasped and vomited on the spot. Inside, there was the flesh and blood of that slave. A provocation. It was simply a provocation. Fangyuan put this box at the back door early in the morning, Guyu Machan said lightly. Mo Yan was so shocked that his body couldn't help but tremble. She never expected that, she just wanted to teach Guyu Fangyuan a lesson, but she didn't expect that things would progress to this point. It's so outrageous, it's simply provocative. Mo Yan looked ugly and wanted to take Fangyuan away. Damn it, stop. Guyu Machan snorted coldly and slammed the table. Grandfather, Mo Yan was stunned and a little puzzled. Guyu Machan pointed at his granddaughter and was a little angry. It seems that all your experience in these years has been in vain. How can you deal with a level 1 goo insect master? Not to mention the hard work. What? Mo Yan was at a loss. If Fangyuan wanted to make things bigger, he could just put the box at the front door. Why did he place the box at the back door where no one would visit? Guyu Machan asked back. Could it be that he wanted to reconcile? But where is this reconciliation? Even if it's a reconciliation or an apology in person, sending this box is just a provocation, Mo Yan said. Guyu Machan said quietly, he wants to reconcile, but he is indeed provocative. This box is not big and can't hold a complete body, but only a part. He wants to tell us that he doesn't want to make the matter bigger. If our Mo family still holds onto it, he will scatter the remaining flesh and blood in the box. Genman, make this matter a big deal. When the time comes, both sides will suffer. Our Mo family breaks the rules first, and our reputation will be damaged. What will follow is the rebellion between the clan leader and the chief family. A combination of hardness and softness, a balance of advance and retreat, this is Fang Yuan. This boy is not simple. Mo Yan was stunned. This kid, what are these thoughts? He is only 15 years old. Ah! Gu Machan sneered. Otherwise, what do you think it is? Mo Yan was shocked and still felt a little incredible. This matter happened because of you. How do you think this matter should be handled? Gu Machan looked at Gu Moyan again. Mo Yan shook his head, not knowing what to say. Gu Machan said in a deep voice, because of you, Grandpa will punish you for 7 days of confinement, and you will not be allowed to do anything else again looking for trouble for Fang Yuan. As for Gao Wan, a former slave, if he commits the following crime, he shall be punished. Because he is a slave of our Mo family, and my Mo family does not discipline him strictly, I will compensate Fang Yuan 30 yuan stones. As for Gao Wan's family, they will be compensated with 50 yuan stones and expelled from the house. Mo Yan took a deep breath, and finally, Shen Sheng said yes. And all this. In the restaurant, Fang Yuan was drinking wine and looking at the misty rain outside the window, with a slight smile on his lips. If nothing else happens, the Mo family will never trouble me again in the future. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 84. The sky is cloudy and rainy. Fang Yuan sat on the edge of the bed, looking outside the inn, gently sipping sake. At this moment, there were waves of conversation in his ears. It was the grandfather and grandson. Grandpa tells his grandson stories passed down from generation to generation. In other words, the human ancestor gave his heart to Hope Gu and escaped from the difficult roundup. But he is old after all, has no strength and wisdom, can no longer continue hunting, and even all his teeth have fallen out. Human ancestor has already felt that death is approaching. At this time, Hope Gu told him, human, you can't die. If you die, your heart will be gone, and my hope will lose its place to live. Human ancestor was helpless. Who wants to die? But if heaven and earth want me to die, I have to die. Hope Gu said, everything has hope. As long as you catch the life Gu, you can add new lifespan. Human ancestor has long heard of the existence of Xiao Gu, but he spread his hands helplessly. When Xiao Gu is still, no one can detect it. When it flies, it is faster than light. How can I catch it? This too difficult. Hope Gu then told Ranzu a secret, human, don't give up hope in everything. I tell you, there is a big mountain in the northwest corner of the earth. There is a cave on the top of the mountain, and there are 2 gus living in the cave. Insects. As long as you can subdue these 2 Gu insects, there is no Gu insect in the world that cannot be captured, even the longevity Gu is no exception. Ranzu is at the end of his rope, this is the only hope he has left. He went through all kinds of hardships to find this mountain. He braved all kinds of dangers and climbed to the top of the mountain. At the entrance of the cave on the top of the mountain, he had only the last bit of strength left and staggered in. There was darkness in the cave, and I couldn't see my fingers. Human ancestors were walking in the darkness. I bumped and bumped from time to time. I didn't know what I bumped into, and my head was bruised and bloody. Sometimes he felt that the darkness was vast and boundless, as if it were another world, with nothing around him but himself. He spent a lot of time, unable to get out of this vast darkness. Not to mention subduing those 2 Gu insects in a circle. Just when he was confused, 2 voices came from the darkness. One said, human, do you also want to capture us? Just go back. Even if you have the power Gu in your body, it is impossible. Another voice said, man, please retreat, we will not take your life. Even if you have the help of wisdom goo, 393 may not be able to find us. Human ancestor fell to the ground helplessly, panting. Strength goo and wisdom goo have left me long ago. My time is running out and I am desperate. But as long as there is still a glimmer of hope in my heart, I will not give up. After hearing Wanjie's words, the two voices fell silent. After a while, he said, I understand, man, you have given your heart to hope goo. What do you mean, you will never give up? Another voice continued, in that case, we will give you a chance. As long as you name us, we will be used by you. Wanjie was stunned for a moment. Trying to accurately call out two accurate names from the sea of words was like looking for a needle in a haystack. Moreover, he didn't even know how many characters were in the names of these two Gus. Wanjie quickly asked Hopegoo, but Hopegoo didn't know either. Wanjie had no other way out, so he had no choice but to bite the bullet and say his name. He said many names, and it took a long time, but there was no response in the darkness. It was obvious that they were all wrong. Gradually, Wanjie's breath became weaker and weaker. In this cave, he moved from old age to twilight. Just like the setting sun in the evening, it gradually descends, and half of it has already fallen to the horizon, becoming the setting Sunday. The food he brought with him was getting less and less, his thinking was getting slower and slower, and he didn't have much strength to speak. The voice in the darkness advised human, you are about to die, let us let you go. In your last time, you can climb out of the cave and take a last look at the world. But you offend us, as punishment, just leave Hopegoo here to keep us company. Wanjie clutched his heart and refused resolutely, even if I die, I will not give up hope. Hopegoo was very moved and tried his best to respond to Wanjie, emitting a pure white light. A little white light emerged from Wanjie's heart. But this white light is too weak and cannot illuminate the darkness at all. It can't even take care of Wanjie's whole body. It can only illuminate this part of his chest. However, Wanjie felt an invisible new strength pouring into his body from the Hopegoo. He continued to speak and said the name. He was already confused. There were many names he had said before, but he couldn't remember them clearly. He said them again, wasting a lot of effort. Life is passing by as time passes, and the lifespan of human ancestors is running out, big. Finally, when he only had 1 day left to live, he said the word moment. There was a sigh in the darkness, and a voice said, man, I admire your persistence. You said my name, and from today on, I will obey your orders. But I can only be with my brother, can I capture all the goo bugs in the world for you? Otherwise, relying on my goo ability alone will not work. So give up, you are already on the verge of death, you might as well make use of this world and take one last look at this world. Human ancestor shook his head firmly. He seized all the time to continue talking and guess the name of the other goo worm. Time passed by, and he only had the last hour left. But at this moment, he accidentally said the word gooey. In an instant, the darkness disappeared. Two goo appeared in front of him. As Hopegoo said, a goo is square, which is called moment. A goo is round and is called gooey. Taken together, they are rules. The two goo spoke together. No matter who it is, as long as they know our names, we will obey their orders. Man, since you already know our names, we can be used by you. But you have to remember, it is best not to let other creatures know our names. The more people know our names, the more we have to surrender them at the same time. Now, you are the first one to surrender us, tell us your request. Human ancestor was overjoyed. Then I will order you to capture a longevity goo for me first. The two goo rules worked together to capture an 80-year-old goo. Wanjie is already 100 years old. After eating this longevity goo, all the wrinkles on his face were immediately eliminated, his skinny limbs were filled with toned muscles, and the aura of youth was exuded again. He looked at his body with joy, knowing that he was a 20-year-old youth again. Rule. Fang Yuan murmured. At this moment, countless people in the world are also murmuring these two words. The ancestral legend of human beings may have only been circulated in the world of goo insects. Some people may only regard it as a story, but some people can appreciate the profound meaning. Just like the human ancestor. When he didn't know the rules, he was groping in the dark, sometimes bumping into each other, making himself miserable and bleeding. Sometimes, a vast expanse. This kind of darkness is not pure darkness. Even strength and wisdom cannot restrain it. Only when the ancestors learned the rules and revealed the names of the rules, the darkness suddenly disappeared and the ancestors ushered in the light. Light. Darkness is the darkness of rules, and this light is also the light of darkness. At this moment, Fang Yuan murmured, this world is like a chessboard, and everything in the world is a chess piece, each operating according to its own rules, all year round. The 28 solar terms have rules, spring, summer, autumn, and winter have rules, water flows to lower places is a rule, heat rises to high places is a rule, people naturally have rules too. Everyone has his own position and his own principles. In Guyu village, slaves are humble and masters are noble, this is the rule. Shen Kui wants to cling to the powerful and tries her best to escape from slavery. Gao Wan tried every possible means to please his master, relying on the power of others. My uncle and aunt are greedy by nature and want to annex their parents' inheritance. The school elders train Gu masters and maintain their own status in the school. Everyone has their own rules, every industry has its own rules, and every social group has its own rules. As long as the rules are understood clearly, bystanders can clearly understand. Get rid of the darkness and gain light, and deal with it with ease. For Guyu Machan, the leader of the Mo family, it is to safeguard the prosperity and interests of the family. Mo Yan has already broken the rules by making trouble for me. In order to protect the family's reputation, he will definitely not do anything to me. You might even take the initiative to compensate me. In fact, the Mo family is powerful and wants to punish me because of the damage to their reputation. I am unable to resist. But Guyu Machan was afraid in his heart. He was not afraid that he would break the rules, but that others would follow him and start breaking the rules too. If the elders intervene in the fight between the younger generations, the situation will escalate. If it affects the higher UPS, it will be a huge threat to the entire village. Guyu Machan is worried and afraid that if there is a fight in the future, someone else will attack his grandson Guyu Mobei. What if this one male in his lineage dies? Maybe even he himself doesn't know this kind of fear. He just subconsciously wants to maintain the rules. However, I sent a box of broken corpses this time. I guess Guyu Machan will interpret it as a compromise and a threat. This is exactly what I want him to understand. As expected, the Mo family will not investigate Gao Wan's death. Of course, if my qualifications were even higher and I was a second-class person, the Mo family would feel threatened and would suppress me as a future threat because of the damage to their reputation. At this moment, Guyu Fangyuan sneered, his eyes were clear and clear. The strong can be relied on, and the weak can also be exploited. Everything in the world is a chess piece, and he, Guyu Fangyuan, is no exception. However, he, Guyu Fangyuan, from the identity of a chess piece, he jumped out of the chessboard pattern and gained the heart of a chess player. This is what he has accumulated over the past 500 years. This is the biggest golden finger of his rebirth. Others' rebirth is a slap in the face with all kinds of pretense. Relying on the advantage of foresight to cut off the beard. As for his rebirth, cutting off the beard is only one aspect. What is really helpful to him is the experience of dealing with people. He is proficient in rules, so he can be condescending and see through the complicated world. Either peel off the cocoon, or hit the nail on the head. I consider myself arrogant and look down upon the people in the world as chess pieces, following their own rules and moving step by step. The darkness is the darkness of the rules, and the light is the light of the rules. But the reborn devil has already walked in the light. At this moment, countless people from all over the world took a breath when they saw this. This Fang Yuan plans everything? Planning everything? Planning a strategy to win a victory thousands of miles away? Good guy, is this the reborn? My scalp feels numb just looking at it. What the hell, I was stunned for a moment. Is this Guyu Fang Yuan? Horrible, absolutely terrible. This strategy, this wisdom, this method, the old devil is worthy of being Fang Laomo. Good guy, this Guyu Fang Yuan is worthy of being a reborn person, applying 500 years of wisdom to this. Cowhide, just cowhide. When others are reborn, they show off and slap you in the face. Fang Lao Mo is reborn and can play with everything. Even if you are weak, you can still win from thousands of miles away. It's scary, damn, it's so scary. Once, I thought that the showdown between Han Li and Mo Juren was exciting enough, but now I realize that Fang Laomo is much more clever than Han Li. 500 years, these 500 years of life experience have been fully utilized by this old devil. Horrible, absolutely terrible. Fang Laomo is indeed Fang Laomo. Absolutely outrageous. I suddenly realized that if I faced old Mo Fang, I might not even know how to die. It's so outrageous. This wisdom, this strategy, this old devil Fang, his. Doesn't old demon Fang have the wisdom goo on him? This is so damn smart. Well, I feel that this old demon not only has wisdom goo, but also strategy goo, and scheming goo. What the heck, one person is turning the whole family around. Is this Fang Laomo? I claim to be unparalleled in strategy, but in the end, compared with this old devil, I am simply vulnerable. Damn it, I always use the previous Son of Luck to speculate on Fang Laomo's behavior, but I find that it doesn't work at all. As a devil, I hate the Holy Mother, but Fang Laomo is too outrageous. If he were in the same world as Han Li, Wang Lin, Tang San, and Xiao Yan, I can guarantee that except Han Li, who frowned and realized something was wrong and might run away, the rest of them would be played alive by Fang Lao Mo Dai. This old Yinbai is really too gloomy. It is terrifying to see the whole leopard at a glance. Tisk, Han Baobao frowned and retreated behind everyone. Fang Laomo frowned and arranged the people clearly. When it comes to strategy, I'm damn willing to call Mr. Fang the number one. This is the reborn golden finger. Damn it, I was stunned for a moment. Have you passed it? Have you passed it? I can understand that Xiao Yan and Tang San were played to death, but Wang Lin is also known as the old devil after all. It is still unclear who will win. Haha, Wang Lin can be considered passionate at best. No matter how cautious he is, can he be as cautious as Han Li? But no matter how cautious Han Li is, I still think Fang Laomo is even more outrageous. 500 years of experience, 500 years of being a human being, 500 years of worldliness. Not everyone can handle this scheming and cunningness. I feel that even Chen Baichuan and Li Qi may not be able to get a good deal after meeting Fang Laomo. Not necessarily, Li Qi has lived for countless years after all, he just doesn't bother to use strategies, and there is no one worthy of his strategies. But Chen Baichuan, I'm sure, will be played to death by Fang Laomo. It's also like going back to 500 years ago. Just look at the two people's dealing styles. It's different too. Chen Baichuan was reborn as a young man, and he himself was invincible on Earth, so why did he need a strategy? Haha, laugh to death, believe it or not, if Fang Laomo and Chen Baichuan were to change their environment, Chen Baichuan would definitely be arranged clearly. Not necessarily. Chen Baichuan's qualifications are incredible and he has become a dragon instantly. How can Guyu village be considered a piece of shit? When you are strong, let alone kill a person with a foreign surname, just kill a member of your own clan. Who dares to fart? Strong words. When did you discuss qualifications? Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 85. At this moment, countless people across the world are discussing. Fang Laomo has already shown his true colors. It's just so cruel and unseemly. The key is that this old demon Fang is also the first person they have seen who plays rebirth so clearly. Others are reborn and rely on their own strength to bully mortals and pretend to be awesome. And what about Fang Yuan's rebirth? That is really using his 500 years of wisdom to the extreme, and playing with everything easily. This is called a reborn person. This is called 500 years of living in vain. This is called the old devil. That old Yinbai's methods are simply terrifying. The reborn devil is already walking in the light. At this moment, countless people began to feel sad for the people in the goo insect world. Fang Laomo was reborn, and the people in this goo insect world must not be clearly arranged. At this time, everyone looked at the Dao Golden List again. At this time, they saw that the scene changed, as Fang Laomo was about to come out of the mountain. His cultivation level is already pretty good, at least he can protect himself enough. He needs to refine a kind of goo to forcefully break through the third level. And this goo is called the human beast burial goo. The key is that this story must be about someone who has a blood relationship with Fang Yuan. The beast controlling goo must be one with extremely strong attack power, either wolf-like or bear-like. According to the secret recipe, it is best to let the beast eat every bit of the human being, so as to maintain success to the greatest extent. And this person Guyu Fang Yuan found. Guyu's medicinal music has a beautiful face and an agile mind. There is a certain degree of disagreement with Fang Yuan. Of course, Fang Yuan wouldn't do anything to celebrate the festival just because of this. He just simply wanted to use the human and beast burial goo, and wanted to break through to the third rank. And Guyu Yao Le happened to be the only girl on the battlefield who was still a virgin and had C-level qualifications or above. It's that simple. Therefore, Fang Yuan used this ancient moon medicinal music to refine the human and beast burial goo. He watched helplessly as the bear devoured Guyu Yale, his face expressionless, and he watched calmly. His eyes were unwavering. In his eyes, there was never any affection, no love, no pity, no pity. All he has is the pursuit of himself, the pursuit of the great road, and the pursuit of the common people. So what if Guyu Yao Le died? So what if Guyu Yao Le is his relative? In his eyes, there has never been any relatives. All he has is his immortality and pursuit. What is the difference between this Guyu medicinal music and the spring-autumn cicada refined by hundreds of thousands of people he slaughtered? No difference. In Guyu Fang Yuan's eyes, Guyu Yao Le is just a talking medicinal material. It's just for refining goo. Seeing this, countless people's scalps went numb and they took in a breath of cold air. They all opened their eyes wide and looked at everything in the picture with a look of disbelief on their faces. Ugh, this old devil Fang deserves to be called a devil. Beast, this old demon Fang definitely deserves to be called a beast. Haha, narrow-minded. This means you have narrow vision. See that all things are treated equally and all living beings are equal. Therefore, there is no difference between the death of Guyu Yale and the death of a tree. What Fang Laomo? He has seen through everything in the world, and seen through all the essences. This is called transcendence. This is the ultimate, the so-called no self, no one, and no living beings. The appearance of a lifeless person, a red and pink skull, white bones and flesh. All living beings are all life, and we no longer regard life as noble, and think that other inanimate mountains, rocks, and streams have spirituality. It means no sentient beings, that is, everything in the world is equal and there is no difference. So, don't say anything about Fang Laomo. Guyu Fangyuan has already reached such a realm, it is not an exaggeration to call him Buddha. Damn it, you are devils and beasts, right? This kind of dehumanizing existence, do you also call him Buddha? When Buddha heard this, he wanted to blow the heads off you people. Buddha? Haha, don't Buddha and Fangyuan both do the same thing? People break through all appearances and see the truth. Beauty is a sign, and so is the appearance of people and all living beings. When you see all appearances and non-appearances, you see the Tathagata. See through and see through, treat everyone equally, all beings are equal. That's why Buddha sacrificed his life to feed tigers and cut his flesh to feed eagles. This is because he has great compassion in his heart, regards all things as his own, loves everything universally, and loves everything greatly. Whether it's me, others, animals, plants, even inanimate rocks, water, soil, or things that don't exist, love them all. Yes, Fangyuan is the same. Buddha sees everything in the world and all living beings are equal. Fangyuan also sees everything in the world and all living beings are equal. What Fang Laomo? This is clearly the great love immortal. Heresy, 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 I can't stand this golden list anymore, it's been taken over by this evil heretic. Stop talking, I'm so heartbroken. This Fangyuan is clearly a devil, a devil. Oh, from the ordinary people's perspective, one thought becomes a demon, and one thought becomes a Buddha. Buddha and demon are just a thought. When you look at Buddha, all living beings are equal, when you look at Demon Lord, he is also equal to all living beings. What you call good and evil is just what you call it. The Buddha is the devil. At this moment, countless people in the world are discussing, sneering, and laughing. There are demons who start to develop for Fangyuan and start to speak for Fangyuan. The words of these evil demons and heretics can make people's hearts collapse, it's simply terrifying. At this time, countless people looked at the Dao Golden List, and they were confused and frightened. An old demon Fang had tortured countless people in the world almost crazy. For a time, countless people didn't know what happened. Do you want to continue watching, or what? Of course, this does not hinder the continuation of the Dao Golden List, however, the more you watch, the more wonderful the faces of countless people are. Fang Lao Mo's viciousness, Fang Lao Mo's awakening, and what Fang Lao Mo has done, everything is beyond everyone's imagination. It is simply impossible to look at Fang Lao Mo with the previous way of thinking. Fang Lao Mo can always break through your imagination and do other things. What you think is impossible is now for Mr. Fang, it is possible. Even if he is a demon, seeing Mr. Fang's various cruelty makes his scalp numb. Let alone the righteous way. What Mr. Fang does in life eventually condenses into one word, beast. Fang Yuan, he is simply so outrageous. Taoist heart is about to collapse. However, the more they look at it, the more countless people feel that this world of goo insects is worth savoring over and over again. What if Fang Yuan is abandoned? Regardless of the actions of the devil, this world of goo insects is definitely not as exciting as the world of immortals. In this world, everyone has their own goals, whether they are aboveboard or unscrupulous. They saw the ancient giants who regretfully fell for the sake of chasing the sun in the vastness of the sun. There is Guyu Yinhuang who was changed beyond recognition in order to save his father. Now there is the Wanjie immortal who has dedicated his life to the liberation of the human race. In order to protect the human race, there is the Xingqiu immortal who has adopted the mortal body to conform to the way of heaven. There is a madman who is obsessed with the Tao and pursues the great road. The Wanjie demon lord. There is the arrogant demon lord who is passionate and unruly. The Red Lotus demon lord who has traveled back and forth tens of thousands of times, running for love to return the fate of the world. There is the thieving demon lord who is a guest from the outside world and only wants to go home. Honor. There is Juyang immortal lord who protects his children and grandchildren for tens of thousands of years after his death. There is Yuanli, an immortal lord who believes in cause and effect. There is Ghost Demon Lord who advocates killing. There is Paradise Immortal Lord who is committed to living in peace with foreign races. And, who pursues eternal life. Great Love Immortal, Gu Yu Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan has met many people in his life. When he was young, he met the real demon Bai Ningbing who pursues a wonderful life. The real demon did not panic at all when he was on the verge of death and only hoped that Fang Yuan can live for himself and witness all the splendors of the world. He pursues the romantic return to heaven and earth at this moment, and he also made bold words to go to Lingfei taking. He met Tai Ruanan who did not tolerate evil deeds, and she was cruel through the experience. I gradually distinguished the boundaries between black and white in this world. I also met Shang Xinci, who was pure in heart and tolerant of all things. She was one of the few clear-minded and ideal people in this world of goo insects with clear interests. I met the forbearing hero Halulan worked hard to avenge his relatives. He had seen the hardships of the great love immortal and knew what persistence meant. When he was in the West Desert, he met a goo immortal named Fang Gong. The strongest man of the Fang family, the largest force in the Western Desert. When the Fang family was forced into trouble by the Paja clan under the scheme of the great love immortal, he once said, "I hate that my fists are so weak. My body is so vulnerable. If I could die to apologize, I would commit suicide immediately. But no. I can only live, clenching my fists, keeping a straight face, and holding my chest high." After Gu Yu Fang Yuan became famous, he met a middle-aged Gu immortal named Wu Yang, who led the first family in southern Xinjiang. His mother was the first person in southern Xinjiang. His strength and power during his reign made him he has reached middle age, but he can only keep a low profile and bury his ambitions deep in his heart. After his mother passed away, although he lost his strongest force, he built an ironclad martial arts family in troubled times. Stirring up the wind and clouds in the great era, he points his finger at the wind Daogu master. Farewell friends are gentle and windless, and the sky is boundless and the wind is overwhelming. He suffered a lot under Fang Yuan's hands, but he became more and more courageous with each setback. Although he has no ultimate, he is talented, but he is tenacious and pragmatic. He has no common prejudices and will not limit himself due to rules. Although he is named Wu Yang, he is also known to the world that there is no mediocre person in the Wu family. He said, "How do ordinary people know me? Don't give up until the end." Fang Yuan also met a purple-haired old man, who claimed to be the first-generation ghost soul of the ghost demon lord. He has existed in the world for 100,000 years. He has seen the death of countless peers and descendants, and devoted himself to the great cause of resurrecting the ghost soul body. Everything. Burning thoughts and flying stones, and blooming flowers with one thought, you are the leader of wisdom. In ancient times, there were Xingqiu immortal lords who combined the way of heaven to seek eternal prosperity for the human race. Today, there is the way of purple and heaven, which is intended to fight the will of heaven and fate, but it ends up being half crazy and half awake. He has been sowing hope all his life. When he was wandering in southern Xinjiang, he was rescued by a noble lady and left a true biography of the Black Daughter in his dream. When he traveled to Biwen, he met the young sword-making master Lady Wanjie, leaving behind the true biography of Fenyan Dao. He once asked a young man in Biwen whether he would like to step on the flames and look down upon the mortal world, or float in the air and be free in the world, or travel through life and death to help the common people. In the final battle, he will leave his legacy, give them all to Fang Yuan, and drag your body to die calmly. This life that has been fighting endlessly has stopped. Fang Yuan and various people in southern Xinjiang, when the clan was circling around, they once harvested the legacy of an 8th level Law Dao Gu immortal. This Gu immortal was named Tao Zhu. His cultivation was as high as 8th level, but he was poor all his life. He devoted all his life savings and energy into studying the 5th level. In the boundary wall, Fang Yuan later became Fang Yuan's weapon to attack the world. When he was young, his research results were repeatedly robbed by others, and his established partner also had a rift because of this, and they had no choice but to break up. When they got married, he was just the man huddled in the dark cave, laughing looking at the research results in his hands. He traveled through the boundary wall again and again, hitting his head and bleeding, just to experience it for himself so that he could study. Even the things he studied all his life would be lost in the near future. The future will disappear on its own, meaningless. But he will never accept his fate. Even if he understands that there is a boundary wall called fate standing in front of his life, he will still run rampant. Even if he hits his head against the wall and dies, he will keep his head high, die with a smile. His obsession after death was to have his research results recognized by the world. When Fang Yuan said to his remaining will, if there is no such ambition, then what is the point of being a human being? It doesn't matter if you fail, the worst is to try again a few times, that's great. Even if you fail to achieve it in the end, so what? Tao Zhu laughed. Yes, even if you fail in the end, even if you fail throughout your life, so what? Even if the 5 realms boundary wall will disappear on its own in the future, so what? Even if my research is meaningless, so what? I just want to do this. You call me crazy, you call me an idiot, you call me paranoid, you call me stupid. I am a madman and a fool. Not only am I paranoid, I am also stupid. But I just want to do this. I just want to live like this. Living like this is interesting to me. All efforts are not in vain. The seeds of paranoia will take root in the soil that has infected your heart and will bloom into dark flowers. His efforts and his research results will eventually become famous all over the world together with Fang Yuan. There is a Gu immortal from the demonic path to the righteous path, then betrayed the righteous path and turned to the demonic path, singing leisurely between heaven and earth, demon or not, righteous or not, heaven and earth have their own Fengju song. In history, there was a human Gu immortal named Long Gong, who lived in heaven for several years. For thousands of years, in the fateful war, one man stood in front of 10,000 men and fought against more than 100 people alone. In order to protect the heaven, he fought until the last moment of his life. He created the dragon human lineage, but in order to protect the destiny of the human race, he slaughtered all. He killed his own kin. Duke Long had a descendant named Long Shui, who turned against him. Long Shui framed Zhongliang and killed his kin, just to numb the eyes and ears of the human race and seek glory for the whole family. Fang Yuan once heard that for the sake of love, he fought against fate. The stone Mantuji is separated from the human race. He personally knows a soul who lives an extraordinary life even if he is forced by the enemy to change his life to become an ordinary person in the East. He once met a bearded uncle who told him that we are all little people like us, it is useless to cry, and no one will listen to shouting, so we can only persevere. Persevere until we achieve greatness, escape from the ordinary, or welcome death. He has everything, and he has lost everything. In this life, there is only eternal life. His evil heart is cold and he will use any means. He is silent, he is forbearing, he is paranoid, and he fights. He said, it's just a little bit of wind and frost. He said, the snow is all white, and I walk alone in the sky and the earth. Walking alone without worries, I am alone. Come and come. He said, in this life, I wish to become the true moon, go out of the Tian Shan mountains, play in the sea of clouds, reflect the past and present, and walk in the dark heavens. He said, in this world, many people have no way from birth to death, and some people walk constantly groping on the road, walking towards the holy place in his heart in the dark. He said, no matter in the previous life or in this life, he is still the villain who wants to climb the mountain. He said, the bigger the ambition, the smaller the world. He said, I am in the secular world, I crawled and rolled in the world of mortals, I was born and I entered the world. I lived my own life, and I lived according to my heart. Even if I was ups and downs under the bumps of the waves, up and down, life and death, I never felt aggrieved. Sadness, fear, worry. I taste this feeling, and I will still smile crazily. I have a true temperament, I am a real person. He once forcibly insisted on the immortal Gu with Ni Liu. He crushed fate in the heaven, and helped all living beings to meet their destiny. He said Tianzun regrets but I don't. He fought against Qinjun, and his 9-level cultivation. His terrifying aura shook the 9 heavens and 10 earths. He was dressed in a snow robe, with black hair flying. He straddled the battlefield, and his energy covered the mountains and rivers. He said, I knew at an early age that things were going to be difficult, but I was still able to fly like a hero among the clouds. The cold wind feels like wading all the way, and the fate of the sea is ups and downs, and the traveler walks alone. A sword is forged with painstaking efforts and painstaking efforts. Today's sword points to the clouds. Refining Gu and refining people, also refining heavenly 10. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 86. All Heavens and Worlds. At this moment, countless people were shocked to see everything on the Great Dao Gold List, watching Fang Yu and Qinjun fight, and watching the domineering aura leaking out, cleansing the aura of the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Everyone was shocked. Really shocked. Invincible. Great love immortal, invincible. Unbelievable, this is the great love immortal. I'm convinced, Gu Yu Fang Yuan, I'm really convinced. Even if you die, you will still have no regrets. Domineering, damn, this Fang Yuan is really domineering. Today, the sword is pointed at the clouds, refining Gu, refining people, and refining heaven. Damn it, this Fang Yuan is so awesome, he does it all in one set. I almost got deceived by him, let me just say, how could Fang Yuan, an old devil like him, not show off? It makes my blood boil when I see it. Because there are many difficulties and ambitions, don't teach the world of mortals to confuse your heart. Love the Xianzun cowhide. Today, the sword is pointing at the clouds. If you love Gu, you will also love heaven. What great love immortal! This is the heavenly demon lord, the heavenly demon lord cowhide. Now I am resting on the grass for the time being, while it sings crazily and walks across the mountains and rivers every day. Let's spread our wings for today, and tomorrow we will ascend to the immortal world and flog the phoenix. Attitude is the mask of the heart. Woe are you so crazy? How could you come up with such saucy words? It's over, all the worlds are really going to be in chaos. Oh, how do ordinary people know me? Don't give up until the end. Wu Yang, what a pity for Wu Yang. It's a pity that Wu Yang has left his name in all the worlds. Although he is not a child of luck, he can still be a good story. The winding road is narrow, the sky and the earth are narrow, there are many disasters and life and death are at stake, the body is like catkins blowing in the wind, no matter the cloud or mud, the intention is consistent. The immortals on the upstream river have retreated, love has failed and persisted in tears, destiny has succeeded and destiny has failed, the immortal regrets but I don't. This is me, a little person's persistence. It's so well said. Damn it, I'm speaking for us little 823 people. Little people redefines little people. What the hell, Fang Laomo is still a nobody. If a man does not show his ambition, he will lose his 8-foot body in vain. Just a little bit of wind and frost. Haha, I really don't know what you are barking at. A person who dehumanizes, destroys family ties, abandons everything, slaughters his tribe, and uses children to make poison. How can anyone still pursue such a pure birth? Are you all in the devil's path? Yes, Fang Yuan was born, so what? Birth is birth, but it does not hinder the charm of the great love immortal. From now on, I am willing to call Fang Yuan the number one devil in the world. Good guy, the number one devil in all the worlds. Has this been blown over? How could it have blown through? What the hell, Fang Yuan was born pure, compared to Tang San, I think Tang San is just like that. Tisk, which old devil can compare with Tang San? Is Tang San worthy of him? Tang San is just a double standard dog, the 10th turn of the dead wife Gu. The dead wife, Tianzun, right. In general, this Fang Yuan is born from iron, a pure egoist, shameless, ignoring the sense of honor, and has no moral bottom line. I just have a feeling right now, learn to persevere. What's special is that Fang Yuan really perseveres to the end and shows his persistence to the fullest. No matter what difficulties he encounters, he can fight to the end. If he fails, he will have to start all over again. This is the character who is truly destined to achieve great things. Fang Yuan, start from small things, never look down on superiors, always do troublesome things as soon as possible, raise Gu, refine Gu, study killing moves, study Gu prescriptions, take care of immortal apertures, maintain resources, Bao Huangtian does business, take care of interpersonal relationships and add depth. Apart from basic rest time every day, don't waste any second. I can only say that this is different from Chen Baichuan, Li Qi, and the like. It is too real, too real. Sometimes I even wonder, is this Fang Yuan still the son of luck? This Fang Yuan is such a calculated beast. Seeing that huge crowd of people, I was completely dumbfounded. There are so many people, my dear, if you didn't tell me, I would have completely forgotten. This damn title of the number one devil in all the worlds is really well deserved. Crowds of people? Ah! What is this? I just saw the ending and felt like I skipped it. Can any fellow Taoist explain it? There are so many people. Well, this is a secret realm created by Fang Yuan, which can consume people's popularity to resurrect people, but the sea of people is perfect and the mountain of people is far away, which makes the secret realm incomplete and needs to replenish popularity, and for Fang Yuan, the way to replenish popularity is to kill people. Rivers of blood flowed from the killings, and heads rolled in from the killings. Thousands of people are not enough to describe, this huge crowd of people is not. Birth, this is such an iron birth. Devil, really devil. Why do you still admire it so much? Aren't you afraid of becoming one of the dead souls under his hands? Hey, you dare to say this? There is a sea of people and a comfortable seat. Funny.jpg. Fang Yuan was indeed born, and no one said he was a good person. The reason why Fang Yuan is respected is, firstly, because he can move forward unswervingly and unswervingly for the purpose, everything is just for the result. The second reason is because Fang Yuan is undoubtedly a solipsist among so many children of destiny. To him, everything in the past is just a bump in the road to eternal life. His extreme solipsism that there is nothing else but me has created an extreme attitude that leaves no escape route for himself. In front of such a person, everything from beheading one's wife to attaining enlightenment, sacrificing relatives, and refining one's heart in this mortal world are all worthy of carrying shoes. Third, Fang Yuan is not so much a son of luck, but a standard villain who remains steadfast despite the hardships of the world, and he is still a successful villain. He considers himself a small person but possesses all the qualities of a successful villain. In order to achieve his goal, all sentient beings need to carry the sedan chair for me, and even gods need to close their eyes. This is an almost belief-like thought that carries out Fang Yuan's path to becoming an immortal. It is recommended not to apply the morality of our world to the Gu insect world, although Fang Yuan can be considered born in the Gu insect world. But according to our standards, 99% of the Gu masters in the Gu world are students. Really? Even a first-level Gu master can bully mortals at will, and most of them have interests first. They have just made an oath and are already thinking about what to do if they regret it. What the hell, in this world of Gu insects, both good and evil are the same, and the righteous path of the East China Sea uses people to train people in huge crowds, but Fang Yuan's lower limit is lower than them, and he is also more pure than them. Fang Yuan, a purer and more extreme evil, was born all over the world anyway. Why didn't he be more born? Well said, you are the peak at the top of the mountain, and you fill in the blanks with the sea of people. Alas, you can't say that either. Not everyone is born, so Letu Immortal can be considered a really good person, right? Le2 is considered a good person, but what about Duke Long? Is Mr. Long not a good person? No, Duke Long can only be regarded as a good person of the human race. For the dragon people, even if Duke Long is the one who created them, they are still born. The most admirable thing about Fang Yuan is his persistence. A little person, not a genius, a bottom-level person in the Gu world who insists on eternal life. He truly embodies the 4 words of a man in the devil's way, with a sword that goes astray, a heart as hard as a stone, and an unscrupulous person. Fang Yuan, this ultimate demon, is much stronger than those psychopathic demons in all the worlds. Although he can kill people, he understands why he kills people. He will not kill people out of temper, from beginning to end. He is not possessed by the devil, but he controls the devil. He is just doing whatever it takes to achieve eternal life. In the eyes of the world, he is a devil, but it is only in the eyes of the world. His heart is always clear. At this moment, all the heavens and worlds were discussing, everyone was really excited. This Fang Yuan refreshed their 3 views again and again. At this time, in the snow world. What a devil, Su Fengnian looked at the Dao gold list with a shocked face. After reading it, everyone was dumbfounded and could not recover for a long time. Alas, how can you speak? Can you speak? Su Fengnian stared at the white fox face. Devil, he is a real devil, old Huang also sighed with emotion. Devil? No, instead of saying that he is a devil and possesses demonic nature, it is better to say that he has divine nature, Li Chungang suddenly spoke. Divinity. As soon as these words came out, White Fox Face, Lao Huang, and Su Fengnian all looked at Li Chungang. Yes, divinity is divinity. Li Chungang said. God is like this, indifferent to everything, indifferent and indifferent, and all living beings are equal. In a perfect world. This ancient moon Fang Yuan, even Shi Hao took a breath. This Guyu Fang Yuan simply made him see the most evil, the annihilation of everything, and the divinity. Yes, Shi Hao also saw divinity. God, isn't that what it is? Boy, you saw it, I said, this Guyu Fang Yuan will definitely succeed. With such quality, how can he fail? Xiaoda's voice sounded. Shi Hao was silent. In the world of Jishan. At this moment, after reading the Dao Golden List, Yefan and Pang Bo took a deep breath, and then smiled bitterly. What the hell, this Guyu Fang, how is it done? He is also a time traveler, why can he be like this? Pang Bo doesn't understand, what the heck, he's both a human from Earth and a time traveler, why can Guyu Fang Yuan do this to destroy humanity? To exterminate everything? After all, it was all those 500 years that made Guyu Fang Yuan what he is today. Without 500 years of rebirth, how could he be like this? From his memory, I can see that he once wanted to be a passionate male protagonist, but he was tricked too many times and miserably, and in the end, he was like this, Yefan said. It's just a little bit of wind and frost, haha, Pang Bo is in a trance. Today, the sword is pointing at the clouds, refining Gu, refining people, and refining heaven. Yefan murmured, feeling his scalp numb. This Guyu Fang Yuan, He pretends to be awesome, and he does it all the same. At this moment, countless people across the world are discussing. At this time, it was seen that the screen on the Dao Gold list changed and a new divine pattern appeared. The seventh rebirth golden finger. Representative person 3, Gu Fang Yuan of the Gu insect world. As a mortal, relying on ordinary qualifications, he gradually embarked on the road to rise. Relying on the spring-autumn cicada, he went back to 500 years ago. Everything started with the spring-autumn cicada and was also attributed to the spring-autumn cicada. Some say he has lost his humanity, some say he is a beast, some say he is a devil. But he said, it's just a little bit of wind and frost. If he were not dark and ruthless, he would not be able to reach his current heights, and he might even die directly at any moment. He has a clear goal, works hard to pursue immortality, and works hard to climb up step by step. Everyone is a small person. In his past and present lives, he has been working hard to climb the mountain. He is the immortal Lord of great love and the demon Lord of refining heaven. No matter whether he is a demon or a righteous man, no one can ignore his persistence and efforts. He knows what perseverance means better than anyone else. He also knows his own position better than anyone else and clearly recognizes himself. Killing is not a means, it is just his tool. He wanted to kill first, so he killed it. If he didn't want it, he left it there. Like a god or a devil, in just one thought. He said that the morning is like blue silk and the evening is like snow, right and wrong, success and failure turn around in vain. He said, now the sword is pointing at the clouds, refining Gu, refining people, and refining heaven. The names of great love immortal Lord and heavenly refining demon Lord spread throughout the heavens. The most powerful demon in the world. Hereby, give out rewards. Buzz. At this moment, with the appearance of the divine pattern soon turned into two balls of golden light. In the blink of an eye, it fell on Gu Fang Yuan in the Gu insect world. At this time, a certain in a cave. Gu Fang Yuan looked at the two golden lights falling in front of him and smiled softly. He touched it lightly, and the next second the two golden lights merged directly into his body. Today, he is only at the 4th level of cultivation, and is far from reaching the level of truly heaven-defying. It can even be said that there are enemies outside him. There are enemies everywhere. At the moment when the golden light enters the body, Buzz, he only feels that his yuan high is boiling, and his cultivation level is constantly rising. The cultivation system of his world does not mean that you have to use Gu insects to advance. Gu insects are just a means. The cultivation level of the Gu insect master is not limited. There is no Gu insect. Insects, at most, could not use those mysterious methods, but it did not affect anything else. Therefore, at this moment, Gu Fang Yuan only felt that his cultivation level was slowly rising, from the middle of the 4th rank, to the peak of the 4th rank, and to the 5th rank. Mid-level of the 5th revolution, peak of the 5th revolution, 6th revolution. Mid-level of the 6th revolution, peak of the 6th revolution. At this moment, the golden light directly raised his cultivation to the peak of the 6th revolution. But another group of golden light entered him directly. In the Yuan High, I found the spring-autumn cicada and directly integrated into the spring-autumn cicada's body. Squeak. At this moment, the spring and autumn cicadas were chirping, and they felt the majestic vitality pouring in. The golden light changed into the water of the long river of time, and an extremely strong vitality appeared, instantly nourishing and restoring it. In the blink of an eye, spring-autumn cicada, who was still weak before, returned to its peak state at this moment. 6 turns of spring and autumn cicadas. Rank 6 Ancient Moon Fang Yuan. The most important thing is that at this moment, Gu Fang Yuan clearly felt the closer connection between himself and spring-autumn 2.1 cicada. Similarly, some special things on the spring-autumn cicada were also wiped out by the golden light at this moment. In fact, God's will could not find it even if he searched for it again. This is not over yet. What Gu Fangyuan is most happy about is that some of the negative buffs of the spring-autumn cicada have disappeared. No, to be precise, the negative buff is most likely weakened. In fact, spring and autumn cicada has a side effect. Using spring and autumn cicada will make the host's luck worse and worse. The Red Lotus Demon Lord also suffered from this. Fang Yuan even saw in the picture that when he used spring-autumn cicada for the fourth time, he failed. This was a side effect of the weakened luck. But now it's better. The negative buff that weakened his luck, with the blessing of the golden light of the Great Avenue Gold List, was not to mention completely reversed, but at least, he would never use spring-autumn cicada less than 10 times. Thank you. At this moment, Gu Fangyuan bowed deeply towards the Great Dao Golden List. However, in the Gu insect world, countless people looked at Gu Fangyuan, but they were itching with hatred and jealous. Gu Fangyuan was so lucky. Became the son of destiny and received rewards. He was already a dehumanizing beast. Now that he has become stronger, won't he do it again? At this moment, countless people are desperate. The people who have been refined into a huge sea of people are even more. They were desperate. They complained, they clamored, thinking that the Dao Jinbang should not reward this beast. However, obviously, the Dao Jinbang would not pay attention to them, or even pay attention to Gu Fangyuan's thanks. At that time, I saw that a new line of divine patterns appeared on the Dao Golden List. This concludes the 7th place Rebirth Golden Finger count. Looking forward to tomorrow's 4th issue of Gold Finger review. The 4th issue of Gold Finger, 6th Extraordinary Talent. Taking stock of the top 10 Golden Fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 87. At this moment, with the appearance of the new inventory preview, countless people in the world are brightened. 6th place. Gifted kind? Gee, there really is a talent category. Talent type? What exactly is a gift? Special physique? Amazingly talented? Or what? I feel that the first few children of luck can be regarded as talented, right? Gifted? Ha, Han Li, what are you barking at? Indeed, Han Li cannot be regarded as gifted. He can only be said to be diligent in training and more cautious. Then Wang Lin is not considered to be gifted. Even to build a foundation, he still needs to seize other people's foundations. What kind of gift is this? As for Li Qi and Chen Bei, this is not considered a gift at all. As for Chen Baichuan, he can be regarded as gifted. However, he is obviously not a golden finger because of his gift, but he was reborn as a golden finger. Don't you see, after he succeeded in cultivating immortality, he was indeed extremely talented, but didn't he still die in the end due to a catastrophe? Indeed, these people are not gifted, at least, this gift is not their golden finger. What a gift! My son Wang Teng has the qualities of a great emperor. He is naturally gifted. Forget about your son Wang Teng. Even if your son Wang Teng is gifted, he is not a child of luck. Your son Wang Teng, even though he is extremely talented, is not a child of luck. At this moment, countless people in the world are discussing. And at the same time, in the Jishan world, the talented ones have come out. Ye Fan, you are going to be on the list. Pang Bo looked at the Dao Gold list with excitement. Ye Fan's mouth twitched. Why am I the only one on the list? After all, you are an immortal seedling from Lingxia Cave, so you should be on the list. Your physique is special, the ancient holy body, I am definitely incomparable, you will definitely be on the list. Pang Bo was extremely confident. What an ancient holy body, it's nothing more than a useless body, it can't even practice cultivation. Ye Fan smiled bitterly. When Pang Bo saw this, he knew he had said the wrong thing. He rolled his eyes and said with a smile, even if I get on the list, When the time comes and I get the reward, I will be 14.5 of you. Come on, this thing can be divided if you say you can. Yefan rolled his eyes, and then smiled and said, when you call me an ancestor one day, then reward me with a few beautiful ladies and so on, and I will be satisfied. Hey, what beautiful girl. Don't worry, when I become stronger, I will definitely be able to find something to help you improve your physique. Look at Wang Lin, look at Gu Yufang Yuan, look at Li Qi, Tisk, aren't they all just mediocre in talent? That Wang Lin can reach the foundation building stage by relying on the foundation seizing method, that Gu Yufang Yuan also improved his physical qualifications in the later period, and that Li Qi, Tisk, directly awakened his physique. They can all do it. I don't believe you can't. It's really not possible. Speaking of this, Pang Bo showed a sinister look in his eyes again, and said with a faint smile, when the time comes, when I become stronger, I will help you seize the body. When the time comes, you can practice whatever you want. Yefan was speechless. Then will I still be me then? So what? Didn't Wang Lin also seize the body? Mo Juran also wants to seize Han Li's body. Seizing his body is not a big problem at all. Pang Bo didn't care at all. Forget it, don't worry about it. I think there should be some movement in my sea of suffering. Let's go and grab some more spiritual liquid, Yefan said. In the past 2 days, I have been practicing with Elder Wu Qingfeng. Although Yefan has not practiced even 2, his strength is getting stronger and stronger. It is simply inhuman. Just this performance alone, then it is enough to show that he is not unable to practice. Perhaps it is just a little more difficult than others, but this difficulty is nothing. He can just treat himself as the person with the least qualifications to practice, then Han Li can make it, then Wang Lin can make it. He feels that he can also make it. Although Han Li and Wang Lin both have golden fingers, he doesn't have golden fingers. Oh, golden fingers. He suddenly had a thought and thought of something in his mind after reading the scriptures. I thought of that Bodhi seed. It seems that this should be regarded as the only extraordinary thing in my hand, right? Maybe my starting point should be here. At this time, in the snow world. What a gift! Su Fengnian looked at the divine patterns in the golden list of the avenue, and his eyes lit up again. Then, he turned to look at the white fox face, and asked with a smile, White fox face, look, am I the one in a million who practices martial arts? Wizard. Ah. The white fox face smiled mockingly, saying nothing. At this time, Li Chungang glanced at Su Fengnian and said with a smile, even if you are a unique martial arts wizard, you are now past the age of martial arts. Those martial arts masters, who haven't you been stretching your muscles and practicing exercises since you were a child? You. Ha. Alas, old man, where are you? What is your cultivation level? Su Fengnian turned to look at Li Chungang, with a suspicious look in his eyes. The old man is just an old beggar, Li Chungang smiled. Cut. Su Fengnian pouted, looked at these two guys, and then glanced at old Huang. Old Huang quickly showed a smile with missing front teeth. Have to. Su Fengnian stood up directly and said, bring me a bottle of wine. A roast chicken. A maid hurriedly brought it over. Su Fengnian took the roasted chicken and grabbed the wine, and was about to leave. Oh, master, why are you going? Lao Huang hurriedly asked. Go practice martial arts, Su Fengnian smiled, jumped into the lake instantly. This scene made everyone completely dumbfounded. Practicing martial arts? Why do you jump into the lake to practice martial arts? You kid, if you train with me, I wouldn't mind teaching you 2 moves. Li Chungang looked at Su Fengnian in the lake. No need, I found someone who is better than you, Su Fengnian said, took a deep breath and dived directly. At the same time, within the perfect plane. If you don't make the list, so what? Even if it doesn't make the list, I will still be ranked among the best. Shihao crossed his arms and looked at the sky. He stood as straight as a javelin, with a proud look on his face, and the supreme demeanor of the young man was clearly visible. "You kid, you are so rude," Xiaoda laughed. However, he saw Shihao's growth in his eyes. With Shihao's incredible background, it is not a problem to leapfrog the ranks. The young man has the supreme bone and is already on the road to invincibility. Such a person, what is it if it's not a gift? Young supreme, nothing more than that. Perhaps once, when it comes to being the son of luck or having a gift, it must be Dashi. But Dashi was defeated by Xiaoshi. Now, of course, he is Xiaoshi. At this moment, countless people in all the worlds are discussing about the son with extraordinary talent and luck. Countless people are investigating. I want to know if someone in my world is gifted, so that I can recruit them. Although they are not on the list, it does not mean that the people in their world are not children of fate. At this time, in Tianyuan continent. Tianjian sect, Back Mountain. Phew, it's over. Yeqing took a long breath, calmed down the restless spiritual power in his body, and stood up. At the same time, a system prompt sounded in his mind. Immediately afterwards, 3 groups of light and shadow appeared in front of his eyes. 3 groups of light and shadow appeared in front of his eyes. In the group of light and shadow, one is Li Qi, the overlord of the Jedi. One is Chen Baichuan, who is as showy as the wind. The other is Guyu Fang Yuan, and there is a spring-autumn cicada on his shoulder. 3 people, 3 reborns. Now, you need to extract something from 3 people. This thing. Take Li Qi's first, Yeqing murmured. Buzz. The next second, Li Qi's shadow turned directly into a ball of golden light, hovering in front of Yeqing. This golden light was rising and falling, dazzling, and hard to see clearly. Speaking of Li Qi's treasure, one of the techniques the list is countless. Just pick one out and it will last him a long time. After all, he taught the existence of the great emperor, and there are countless names such as Saint Master and Imperial Master. So, what was drawn this time? Buzz. Yeqing stretched out his hand to touch, and the next second, the light ball instantly merged into Yeqing's body. He. At this moment, Yeqing only felt a burning pain coming from his body, as if something was about to come out. Yeqing's face changed wildly, and the next second, he sat cross-legged on the ground. At this moment, he only felt the qi and blood in his body surging, with waves of heat rushing through his body, and the qi and blood surged back. Damn it, what kind of reward did you get? Yeqing was a little confused and complained secretly. This system does not explain in advance what rewards he has received. Now it's better. He has no other choice but to concentrate, calm down, and use the extremely domineering alien fire spirit in his body. He practiced hard and alleviated the pain. The spiritual power of the strange fire washed through the limbs and bones, and penetrated the 8 extraordinary meridians. The pain was slightly weakened. The most important thing is that Yeqing also felt that his cultivation was smoother, as if some shackles were being lifted. It seemed to be open. The most important thing was that at this moment, Yeqing felt that his qi and blood had become extremely strong. Just a drop of blood seemed to be able to collapse a mountain. The qi and blood were so strong that a single drop of blood was extremely powerful. The blood in his body was like a violent rushing river, rushing around inside his body, impacting his heart. If he hadn't wrapped his heart with spiritual power in advance, I'm afraid, he would definitely spit out blood at this moment. But it still doesn't feel good. He felt that the powerful blood was impacting his internal organs, his whole body, and his muscles and meridians. Fortunately, this power, although overbearing, is also very gentle to a certain extent. He felt that his body was torn to pieces, but at the moment when he felt completely shattered, there was another Buddhist chant of the Great Dao, and it seemed as if countless life essences emerged. The life essence renourished Yeching's body, washing away side by side, healing side by side. I don't know how long he endured this torment, but Yeching suddenly opened his eyes. In his eyes, a hint of blood evil flashed away, and at the same time, there was a terrifying blood evil energy lingering around his body. Click, he didn't exert any force, but his mere presence caused several cracks to appear on the bluestone under his feet. Feeling the powerful power in his body, Yeching couldn't help but froze. This is the prison-suppressing divine body. Yeching looked at his hands, feeling the earth-shaking changes in his physique, with joy in his eyes. The prison-suppressing divine body, one of the 12 immortal bodies. The prison-suppressing divine body is as thick as a mountain, and it can be easily moved by raising one's hands and feet. Has terrifying and powerful strength. It is immeasurable, can step on gods and demons, punch Buddhas, is infinitely powerful, tear the world apart, and wield dragons with bare hands with ease. This is the prison-suppressing divine body. The key is, Yeching only feels that his cultivation level has skyrocketed due to the blessing of this prison-suppressing divine body. He hasn't practiced much yet, but the strange fire spiritual power is running wildly in his body. As soon as he wakes up, he feels that his realm has broken through the foundation building. This is the prison-suppressing body. The effects attached to the divine body. The most important thing is that this is not the Dachin's prison-suppressing divine body, but the most basic prison-suppressing divine body. It's heaven-defying. It's true and it's heaven-defying. It's the foundation building stage. I just broke through the chi refining stage in the morning, and now I'm here. He is directly in the foundation building stage. He has a strong physique, and the spiritual power in his body is as powerful as the essence. The improved prison-suppressing divine body does not need to practice the life palace or anything like that. He only needs to practice according to the way of practice in this world. But the only drawback is, he has the prison-suppressing divine body, but he doesn't have the corresponding body refining method. Is it possible that I am going to rob some of the supreme secret techniques of the body refining sect? Yeching thought. In this Tianyuan University, there are many sects, and there are also many sects that practice body training. He didn't have a body refining method, so it was the only choice to rob the section. But thinking about it, Yeching quickly shook his head. With his current cultivation level in the foundation building stage, he could only reach a dozen golden elixir stages. But for some serious great religions, the golden elixir stage is only the mainstay. The most powerful ones are the nascent soul stage, and even the ancestor of transformation God. If he goes, he will only die. That's all. Let's talk about this 953 later, Yeching murmured, and immediately looked at the remaining two people. Now, only Chen Baichuan and Guyu Fangyuan were left. Buzz. The next second, two groups of light spots appeared on the shadows of Chen Baichuan and Guyu Fangyuan. The light spots appeared in front of Yeching's eyes instantly. Yeching did not hesitate and directly reached out to touch. Two groups of golden light penetrated into Yeching's eyes. Within the body. The next second, Yeching's eyes lit up. Void body refining technique. The technique practiced by Chen Baichuan, the extremely domineering void body refining technique. Although it conflicts with his burning Ju to a certain extent, this void body refining technique Ju, in other aspects is pretty good. As for Guyu Fangyuan, he got a Gu. He was not surprised to get a Gu. After all, it is the world of Gu. And this Gu, he directly obtained the spring-autumn cicada. The spring-autumn cicada resides in his danshan, and is in perfect condition. It is completely bound to him. It can be regarded as his companion spiritual creature or something. There is no God's will in this world, but there is no such thing as a demon king. He can use spring-autumn cicada without restraint. Good, Yeching chuckled. Now, his background is getting stronger and stronger. Xiao Yan's burning technique, Yezun's strange fire. There are also the 7 killing swords of his destiny. Han Li's Qingyuan sword technique, and the little green bottle. Wang Lin's great movement forbidden technique, Situnan's finger of nirvana. Li Qi's prison suppressing divine body, Chen Baichuan's void body refining art, Guyu Fangyuan's spring autumn cicada, all these are numerous, and it can be said that it has a profound foundation. Although the consumption of cultivation is incredible. But he has the little green bottle, and in some aspects, the resources are not lacking. Thinking of this, Yeqing started to look for it on the back mountain without saying a word. As long as there is no magic medicine, yes, he just took the first drop from the small green bottle. Then, he swallowed it whole. He had the prison suppressing divine body, so he was afraid of nothing, and he also had the void body refining art, so he was not afraid either. Whatever medicinal properties and poisons were all mutated. Fire refining. One day and one night, Yeqing spent a whole day and night searching on the back mountain, relying on the small green bottle to improve the quality of the elixir, relying on the void body refining art, relying on the prison suppressing divine body. In short, his cultivation, that's called a turtle speed. Damn it, all the resources have been found, and the whole back mountain is barren. Why did it reach a small level? Yeqing wanted to cry but had no tears. One day and one night? He took so many elixirs. As a result, he was only in the middle stage of foundation building. Isn't this damn prison suppressing divine body too damn difficult to refine? Yeqing was shocked. However, this is also related to his indiscriminate consumption of herbs. If those herbs he had eaten were refined into elixirs, his cultivation level would not be like this. It seems it's time to take stock. At this moment, Yeqing looked at the sky, and with a thought in his mind, the next second, the golden list of great avenues slowly appeared. The void exploded, and strange phenomena occurred frequently in the world. At the same time, on the golden list of great avenues, one after another appeared. God's pattern comes. Number 6 in the top 10 gold fingers. Let's start counting. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 88. Finally saw the inventory again. 6th place, a gold finger with extraordinary talent. By the way, can talent also become a gold finger? There are no types of golden fingers, but whatever can be of greatest help to the child of luck is the golden finger. Gifted kind? Gee, how many talented people are there in all the worlds? Indeed, there are not many powerful people with extraordinary talents, but not everyone is a child of luck. That's right, no matter how incredible you are, no matter how amazing your talent is, no matter how brilliant your talent is, you will ultimately be no match for the child of destiny who has rubbish talent, let alone the child of destiny today who is still extremely talented. To be honest, I'm really curious, what kind of cheats are there next? This is only the 4th one, and I have already finished all the golden fingers that I can imagine. Don't think about the golden finger in the future, look at what's in front of you, this is the most important thing. So talented, Tisk, it seems that we have no hope, and I don't know if the geniuses in the sect can do it. At this moment, countless people in the world were discussing. At this moment, it was seen that divine patterns appeared quickly in the picture, finally revealing the characteristics of the golden finger this time. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers in the world. 6th place, talented category. Description: born to be different, very talented in a certain area, able to successfully distance themselves from others. Even if this ability is the same as others, the child of luck is better than others. Characteristics: this kind of golden finger mainly highlights a genius monster, or has more active thinking than others and is extremely smart. Either he has a special physique or his aptitude is incredible. Soar into the sky in practice, and at critical moments, your potential can be unleashed. Hosts with such golden fingers generally have the following characteristics. One is disliked by everyone and considered a waste, but he can rise up and dominate the world. 2. The system or special accompanying things that are coveted by everyone, even if they are poached and destroyed, they will be destroyed and rebuilt. Go against the sky. 3. The emperor is a monster and is the envy of everyone. 4. If your luck is against the heavens, you can always find something that suits you. 5. What he needs is special, or something that others don't like. Others regard it as rubbish, but he regards it as a treasure. Conclusion: generally speaking, if you have any 3 of the above characteristics, you can basically conclude that you have such a golden finger, and you are undoubtedly the child of luck in this world. At this moment, countless people were slightly stunned when they saw this scene. Huh? These characteristics? Why do I suddenly feel like I have met you somewhere before? Gifted? Can you still steal the talent root bone? Break and then stand? Tisk, this kind of golden finger is really incredible. By the way, is this a description of the son of luck, or a description of Goldfinger? Hee, I don't think any of these will work. I have experienced regression in my cultivation. I was almost taken away from my body, and I was asked to break off my engagement. Then I said that for 30 years in Hedong and 30 years in Hexi, don't bully young people who are poor. That woman was just waiting for me to find the golden finger and be beaten. Face it? Tisk, this buff is stacked, be careful and it will bite back and die. Ha ha ha, I think that I am not a child of luck, but I have accepted many disciples. One disciple had his engagement broken off in public, and his cultivation level inexplicably regressed. Another disciple was almost snatched away, but I saved him. A disciple was suppressed and ridiculed in all kinds of ways, but he had a strong heart and was directly thrown into the wall by me. There is another apprentice who is looked down upon by everyone, but is calm, sometimes with a sneer. I also have an apprentice who comes back to life inexplicably and always says some incomprehensible things. My sect will definitely prosper from now on. Damn it, the buff stack is full. Fellow Taoist, are you going crazy? With so many children of luck, I'm afraid your sect won't be able to tolerate enough. Alas, not necessarily. In recent days, many of the disciples recruited by the sect pretend to be children of destiny, or say some mysterious words, saying that they are reborn. Or just say you are a time traveler. Or he's still talking to himself, not knowing what to say, pretending to be an old man with a ring. In short, it's very troublesome. Each and every one of the current disciples is talking even more sarcastically, and I can't stand it anymore. What about 30 years in Hedong and 30 years in Hexi? I often talk about it, just like if I don't say a few words, I can't practice cultivation. The same goes for the poor Taoist sect, who come out with slanderous words. Why is the sword pointed at the clouds now, refining people by refining goo and refining heaven? After being ridiculed by others, he said, how can ordinary people recognize me? Don't give up until the end. It's so infuriating. Phew, ha ha ha, you are all pretty good. I don't know when it started, but the disciples in my sect like to be ridiculed by others, as if they can't practice without a few words of ridicule. This trend has all been distorted. It's over, it's a mess, it's a mess. At this moment, countless people in the world are complaining, starting from the characteristics of the Son of Destiny, and then complaining about the recent situation. As more and more people are counted on the Great Avenue Gold List, more and more people begin to imitate the behavior style of the protagonists on the Great Avenue Gold List, often with a cold smile. Don't look down on others either. From time to time, a few saucy words would pop out of his mouth. The self-confidence that emerges from the inside out makes people want to punch them. The key point is that every one of these young disciples behaves like this, and the atmosphere of the entire sect has changed. Countless people are beginning to worry. If this continues, the atmosphere of the entire world will be distorted. However, many people think about it and shake their heads. Forget it, these people are not children of luck after all. As time goes by, he will become more honest, the burning soul of Chuji will also be suppressed. It won't take long for things to return to normal. Well, that's what countless people think. At this time, as you can see, in the Dao Golden List, new divine patterns appeared. As you can see, one of the most representative figures of this type of golden finger, perfect plane Shihao. Perfect plane Shihao. At this moment, countless people were surprised, looking at the Dao Golden List, they were all a little strange. What is this perfect plane? How dare you claim to be perfect? Perfect plane? In other words, our world is also perfect. The movement of the six paths continues and the practice system is perfect. Can our world be considered perfect? Obviously, impossible. Our world is the perfect world, and I will rename the continent to the perfect continent. Bah, shameless old thief, hurry up and send him to the sea of people, a private seat. You are the peak at the top of Danghun Mountain, and you fill in the blanks with the sea of people. You must be one of those who was transformed into spring-autumn cicada. You thief, you talk a lot, right? By the way, why does this name, Shihao, feel a bit taboo? I didn't think so at first, but as I looked at it, I felt that the word Shihao was strange and extraordinary. Tisk, I remember Shihao. I have heard of such a character. I heard that he was a very dangerous person in the lower world. Could it be that this Shihao is the Shihao of our world? Shihao. I also know a man named Shihao, who is born with supernatural powers and extremely terrifying. I don't know if he is this Shihao. At this moment, countless people are speculating. At the same time, in Jishin world. Boom. Yefan was surrounded by visions, with a permanent rainbow and thousands of golden lights. After a long time, the vision dissipated. At the same time, he felt a light spot the size of a sesame seed in his sea of suffering, and couldn't help but marvel. So this is spiritual practice, he was a little surprised, he finally opened up the sea of wheels. Although it is not comparable to Pangbo's, his is only the size of a sesame seed, but it is not bad. At this moment, Yefan, you finally woke up, I thought you were going to miss the Dao Gold List. Take a quick look at the Dao Gold List. This round of counting is for those with extraordinary talents. I see those characteristics, they are very similar to yours. I feel like you're going to be on the list. At this time, Pangbo's voice sounded. Yefan was stunned and looked at the sky in astonishment. He saw that at this time, the golden list of the great Dao appeared, shining brightly. Just a look, the perfect plane, Shihao. I thought it was called Yefan, Yefan is speechless. Hey, they are all part of a series. Next, the second and third parts will definitely include you. Pangbo said with a smile. Ah. Yefan curled his lips and smiled. It doesn't matter, even if I don't make the list, I feel like I can do it. He was confident. His golden sea of suffering and various visions are simply heaven-defying. Although it is somewhat difficult to practice, it is not impossible to practice. He is an ancient holy body. He still doesn't believe it. He was able to achieve such a famous physique in the ancient times, but he can no longer practice it now. At this time, Pangbo was still muttering there. Shihao, I always feel that this name has a chilling feeling. As he spoke, he looked at the golden list of the great Dao with a strange light in his eyes. Oh! Shihao, Yefan murmured. The more he read this name, the more he felt a little special and strange. Could it be that it's from our world, he murmured subconsciously, a little frightened. He had never felt this way before. But now, he suddenly felt this way. There is only one possibility. This Shihao is very likely to be someone in their world. There is great power. Just saying its name makes people's hearts stir. Impossible, absolutely impossible. Pangbo shook his head. Our world is definitely not a perfect plane. This is the Baidu star territory. When it comes to names, Baidu must be the first. If it doesn't work, it's the Kowloon coffin world. In short, it is definitely not a perfect world. We the son of luck in this world. Come on. Yafan pouted. So what if I'm not the son of luck? It doesn't mean that I have to be the son of luck to rise. If I can't be the son of luck, can't I be a villain? As he said that, he looked at Pangbo. When Pangbo heard this, he rolled his eyes and smiled. If the two of us become villains, this son of fate. Why do you care so much? Just read on and you'll find out. Yafan opened his mouth, looked at the Avenue Gold list, and narrowed his eyes slightly. At this time, in the world of holy ruins. Well, this is Shihao's name. Chu Feng murmured, feeling a little palpitated. The feeling of palpitations, as if he was being targeted by someone. Just saying this name made people feel scared. Moreover, he was very sure that this was not his imagination, because the little scalper next to him seemed to be in the same way, with some palpitations. Is it possible that this Shihao is the son of destiny in our world? Wow, don't be like this. I am quite a child of luck and have achieved the highest level of success. The cattle howled and dug into the ground with their hooves. Just you? Returned the son of luck. Chu Feng curled his lips and looked at the scalper. If we want to talk about the son of fate, it is him, not this little scalper. You are a cow. Why do you think you are the son of luck? Do you really think you are the bull demon king? Hey, now that the son of luck is gone, you accompany me, the son of luck. Yellow Ox looked at Chu Feng and shouted loudly. This has nothing to do with me. Chu Feng was speechless. Did this scalper blackmail him? 0128031114 Lu 1820133301. Suddenly, he thought of something, rolled his eyes, and chuckled. How about you change your name to Shihao? Maybe, he is the son of luck. Good idea, then I will. The scalper smiled and was about to say something, but suddenly he felt a strong feeling of heart palpitations, as if he might die in the next second if he dared to say those words. Well, it couldn't help but shudder, and finally shook its head and muttered, forget it, I won't change it anymore. Even if I don't become the son of fate, I can still become the golden finger of the son of fate. Suddenly, he looked at Chu Feng and said quietly, boy, from now on I will be your golden finger. Don't forget to take me with you wherever you go. Otherwise, I will tease you. The golden finger of the old man has passed. Even if you are my golden finger now, it is useless. Chu Feng curled his lips. Who said I was a grandfather? I am Maverick, Maverick. The scalper stared dissatisfied. Okay, you are a calf. Chu Feng curled his lips and looked at the great Dao golden list again, frowning and thinking. This Shihao, he subconsciously clenched his fists. At this time, in the world of God's tomb. Shihao, Chen Nan looked at the picture on the Avenue Gold list and looked at the ruffian Long next to him. What happened to Shihao? What, you know him? Ruffian Zilong looked at Chen Nan with some curiosity. He felt that this boy was so extraordinary. He knew many things, and he also knew the ancient secrets of this world. Could it be that this Shihao is from their world? Exist? Is it a powerful person who existed before ancient times? Do not know, but I didn't want to. Chen Nan shook his head. Liao Haozhao, I don't know you, but you're talking about a hammer. Ruffian Long curled his lips. I don't know how this Shihao compares to the people in front of me. Chen Nan smiled and said. That's why I didn't make the list. Otherwise, we are the only and supreme existence in all the heavens and worlds. Hey, maybe I am the number one, Ruffian Long laughed. Come on, you're the one who still wants to be a child of fate? If you want to be the son of luck, "It's me," Chen Nan said with a smile. "Cut." The ruffian Long looked at Chen Nan with contempt. "You don't even know who you are, and you still want to be the son of fate." Chen Nan was speechless. At this time, in the perfect plane. "Well, Shi Hao squinted his eyes and looked at the great Dao golden list, feeling a little unhappy. "This is, yourself. Haha, let me tell you, boy, you really made the list," Xiota's voice sounded. "Perfect plane, it turns out that our world is called a perfect plane," Shi Hao murmured, and then shook his head. At this moment, he didn't want to do anything else. He just wanted to see how he was described in the Dao Golden List. Of course, it wasn't just Shi Hao, his father, his mother, his younger brother, even Lu Shen, and even countless people in Shi village, at this moment, also looked at the Dao Golden List. Shi Hao? Is this the Shi Hao they know? Countless people's hearts moved, and they looked Xiang Dao Jin Bang. At this moment, a voice suddenly came from the Dao Jin Bang. He transforms into freedom, he transforms into eternity. Show off your unique style. Kill until no one in the world dares to become a king. Who is claiming to be invincible, the one who dares to say that he is invincible? The Emperor's fall era is gone. I am destined to be invincible in this world, this is my belief. The future me has become a variable, I am the only one in eternity, eternal and immortal. The enemy who is defeated by me will never be regarded as an opponent by me. I will give you time to catch up until you are out of sight. I am Emperor Huang Tian. When the world is suppressed, overwhelm everything. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 89. Damn, here comes another show-off. Good guy, although these words may seem ordinary, I always feel that these words are extremely domineering. Good guy, Emperor Huang Tian? Suppress the current world? Overwhelm everything. Kill until no one in the world dares to respect you? So arrogant, who is this Shi Hao? I am destined to be invincible in this world. Good guy, why does this Shi Hao feel more pretentious than the previous ones? Isn't he just a great emperor? Li Qi can fight 3,000 people with one hand. You're on the same page. Emperor Huang Tian. Is this Emperor Huang Tian? Hegemony in the world, tisk tisk, these words are simply invincible. At this moment, countless people in the world are discussing. Although I still don't know who this Shi Hao and this Huang Tian Emperor are, I always feel that this Huang Tian Emperor is full of anger. Although some words may seem ordinary, but when he spoke, he was so confident and so defiant that it shocked people's hearts. Is this Emperor Huang Tian? Is this Shi Hao? At this time, in the world of Jishan. Shi Hao? Emperor Huang Tian? Is this Shi Hao Emperor Huang Tian? Huang, how do you feel? Ye Fan murmured. At this moment, even Pang Bo thought of something, and his expression changed again and again. Before, they took the 9-dragon coffin and arrived in the star field. The first place they arrived was the ancient Forbidden Land. That desert, could it be this Huang Tian Emperor? No. The ancient Forbidden Land definitely does not represent the Huang Tian Emperor. The ancient is the same as the name of your holy body. It just represents a time, and it definitely does not represent the Huang Tian Emperor. Pang Bo spoke, and the more he spoke, the more certain he became. Well, this theory is not ruled out. Ye Fan nodded. The ancient Forbidden Land clearly represents time. If the ancient Forbidden Land is not called the ancient Forbidden Land, but the Forbidden Land of the ancient, it can be understood as the Emperor of the ancient now. No matter what, I always feel that this Emperor Huangtian has something to do with our world. Ye Fan said this. If there is a relationship, there is a relationship. They are definitely not from our world. Pang Bo nodded. Ye Fan squinted his eyes and looked at the sky Emperor Huangtian. He murmured softly. By the way, this Emperor Huangtian is really arrogant and arrogant. He can dominate the world at every turn, suppress the entire world at every turn, and kill to the point where no one in the world dares to respect him. Tisk tisk, these sons of luck are getting more and more arrogant. Pang Bo was speechless. Although they have entered the world of monks, they are still mortals after all. When it comes to vision and courage, how can there be any vision and courage now? I just feel that these guys are more pretentious than the other. An arrogant person. At this time, the world in the snow. Swish, swish, swish. At this time, Su Fengnian was practicing the sword, and he was still decent. At this time, when he listened to the words in the Deo gold list, he couldn't help but be speechless for a moment. You're so good at showing off, he muttered, slashed forward with the long knife in his hand, and sneered, I am the sword god, and I will kill until no one in the world dares to respect you. Beihulian and Li Chungang rolled their eyes at the same time. How can you kill so hard that no one in the world dares to respect you with those two attacks? You can't even kill a chicken, let alone anything else. By the way, who is this Shi Hao? So pretentious. So arrogant. Even more arrogant than the previous two forced kings, Su Fengnian didn't show any embarrassment. She put away the knife, continued to lean on the chair, and said lazily. Who is Shi Hao? If you ask us, who should we ask? Bai Hulian and Li Chungang pouted again. God. That's heaven, old Huang was fascinated. Who wouldn't be so frightened by being called the one of heaven? Now, here comes the Emperor of Desolate Heaven, tisk tisk. What Emperor of Desolation? I'm still Qin Shi Huang, Su Fengnian pouted. Come on, the three of them were completely speechless. At this time, the Holy Ruins world. Good guy, this is also a forced king and a murderer. Kill until no one in the world dares to respect you. So scary, Chu Feng sighed, never expecting that this Shi Hao actually existed like this. Kill until no one in the world dares to respect him. Hey, this Shi Hao suits my taste, the scalper chuckled. Emperor Huangtian, how come he is always a creature of heaven? Is he always the supreme? Chu Feng was a little surprised. This supreme being, this heavenly being, is too much, right? In the past, there were only one or two heavenly beings. Others would be shocked, but later, there were too many heavenly beings and emperors. The scalp is numb. This makes people feel numb. Especially in the world of emperor domination, Li Qi fought against 3,000 emperors alone, he has already surpassed Tiandi's strength. I don't know what the cultivation method of this perfect plane is like. Chu Feng muttered. No matter what it is like, it is better than your urban world anyway, the little scalper said. Is it? Chu Feng squinted his eyes. It was not that he didn't believe it. Mainly because the world they were in seemed to be like the spiritual energy recovery in the novel. When it just started to recover, where did the cultivation method come from? Should we talk about the heaven-defying cultivation method? There are many worlds of practice in those 8 serious scriptures, not only many, but also complete. He shook his head and continued to look at the golden list of the great Dao. At this time, in the perfect plane. Hey, you kid, you really know how to pretend. And kill until no one in the world dares to respect him. You are so shameless, Xiaoda's voice came to Shi Hao's ears. Shi Hao just squinted his eyes and ignored it. However, when he listened to his own words, he felt the illusion that he was the enemy of the whole world. It seemed that everyone in this world was they are his enemies, and he has no choice but to kill them one by one, fighting until the sky is destroyed, and the road is destroyed. What has his future self done? Why is this happening? That kind of pressure makes him breathless. I can't breathe. It's too heavy. The feeling of being the enemy of the whole world is really not a wonderful experience. At this time, countless people were looking at the great Dao gold list, accompanied by the sound of those words. It can be seen that in the picture, a new divine pattern appears. Just like before, the divine pattern in this picture is the related realm system of this perfect plane. Countless people looked curiously, but wanted to see how this perfect plane compared with their own world. But what I saw was, the perfect plane, divided into, foreign land, fairyland, burial realm, 9 heavens, and 10 lands. The most important thing is 3,000 days Hu and Bawang. Among them, 3,000 days Hu is the upper boundary and 8 regions are the lower boundary. The 8 domains are, Heaven, Earth, Xian, Huang, Yu, Zhou, Hong, and Huang. 3,000 days Hu is one of the 10 places in the 9 heavens and 10 earths. In this world, the realm of cultivation can be roughly divided into, blood moving, cave heaven, spirit transformation, inscriptions, arrays, venerables, divine fire, true one, holy sacrifice, gods, virtual Dao, kill me, escape one, and supreme. This is the realm of humanity. And above the supreme, there is the immortal realm. This realm of immortality is roughly divided into, true immortal, immortal king, quasi-immortal emperor, and immortal emperor. Countless people were stunned when they saw this. 14 realms. There are 14 realms in the human realm alone. In addition to the 4 realms of the immortal realm, there are 18 realms. Good guy, this world is similar to the emperor's world. So outrageous. Having too many realms is actually not a good thing. Well, if I am not mistaken, in this realm of humanity, the first 6 realms are actually in the lower realm. In our world, it should be the so-called mortal world. The next realm should only be reached by practicing in 3,000 states. On our side, it should be called the spiritual realm. The following immortal realm should be a realm that can only be achieved by transcending the 9 heavens and 10 earths and entering the immortal realm, or by transcending the 10 earths and entering the 9 heavens. This should be it. The world is divided into so many and encompasses so much. It should be like the world of immortal rebellion, with 1 level and 1 cage. Only in the end did I realize that the world I was in was just the cave space of other immortals. When you get to the back, you realize how small you are. Immortal king? Immortal emperor? Gee, this world is a little interesting. Is it this emperor? Emperor Huangtian? The words of Emperor Huangtian before were probably shouted out at the end. Kill until no one in the world dares to respect you, tisk tisk. At this moment, countless people were discussing. At this time, in the perfect plane. It turns out that there are so many realms up here. Shi Hao looked at the picture on the Dao gold list and the description of the realm, and was slightly stunned. He is now in the formation realm, and his ability exceeds that of the venerable realm. It can be said that with his current strength, he can already be respected in the lower realm. He thought that the realm was almost there. Even if he was still a few realms away from the peak, the difference shouldn't be too big. But he didn't expect that there were actually 18 realms. CFDF. And he, not even average cultivated. The existence of the venerable divine fire realm is already very strong. He can't even imagine what the so-called true one, the holy sacrifice, and even the venerable being are. There are also, immortals. Shi Hao narrowed his eyes and suddenly said, Xiota, have you ever seen an immortal? Well, well. Xiota pondered, not knowing what to say. Forget it, I won't ask you any more. Thinking about it, you are the same as Lu Shen, either from the sky or from the fairyland. Shi Hao whispered, he didn't want to ask any more. Anyway, he can also understand it when he looks at the Dao gold list next. At this time, in the world of Jishan. Hey, Are there so many realms? It seems that this world is no longer ours. Pangbo said subconsciously. Yafan shook his head in a funny way. However, the division of realms is indeed different. The names are different, and even the numbers are different. There are 18 realms in total over there. And what about them? Even if they don't know some of the immortal realms in the future. However, they also know the previous realms very well. There are only 5 realms. Well, there should be only 5. It is completely inconsistent with the realm of the perfect plane. Therefore, this perfect plane cannot be their world. It's just that. How can Shihao explain it? Yefan murmured. He really couldn't figure out why he felt palpitations when he recited Shihao's name. Could it be that there was a powerful man named Shihao in their world? Yefan couldn't understand it. At the same time, in the Holy Ruins world, Chu Feng suddenly changed his head, looked at the little scalper, and asked, as a time traveler, you should know the division of realms, right? How are the realms of our practice divided? What did you say? The scalper was stunned. Realm, Chu Feng frowned. No, the top sentence. Yellow Bull asked again. Chu Feng thought for a while and said, you time traveler. Ha ha ha, I am a time traveler. Hey hey hey, I am a time traveler. When Yellow Ox heard this, he immediately grinned with joy. Chu Feng was speechless. Is it necessary for this calf to be like this? However, this calf is indeed a time traveler. He traveled through the light curtain. This is not time travel. What is it? But I don't know what kind of madness this little calf is going to have. What's the point of being silly? Hee, I am a time traveler, so I am very likely to be a child of luck, the scalper laughed. Chu Feng had no choice but to say, let me ask you about your realm. Ahem, what realm is that? Huang Niu felt silly for a while, then thought about it and said, probably, it's awakening, shackles, and freedom, right? I don't know. It should be like this anyway. As for the rest, I don't know. Anyway, our world cannot be a perfect plane. Is that so? Chu Feng's eyes flickered. But why did he feel palpitations when chanting Shihao's name? Chu Feng couldn't figure it out. But there was no other way. He could only continue to look at the Dao Golden List. At this time, countless people from all over the world were discussing. Countless people are also comparing the realm of their own world with the realm of this perfect world. In the end, I found that there was no comparison at all. Because I don't know the specific realm content. This time, countless people became curious again, curious about what the realm of this world is like. As expected, at this time you can see that in the picture, everything about each realm is finally revealed. Moving blood, it is necessary to mobilize the essence and blood of the whole body, rolling like thunder, melting bone inscriptions, and urging the divine light in the blood to temper the creation of heaven and earth and nourish the body. It can make the physical body reach the extreme state of 100,000 kilograms. Dongtian, opening up the cave is tantamount to taking away the creation of heaven and earth, constantly directly absorbing the spirit of the outside world to replenish one's body. There can be up to 10 caves. Transformation into spirit, the process of reshaping the true self, a transformation that is different from the past, from the physical body to the spirit, and then to the cave to communicate with the outside world, resulting in spirituality, will all evolve. The realm of spiritual transformation is divided into 3 stages. The first stage is the transformation of the physical body into a spirit, the second stage is the spiritual reshaping of the true self, and the third stage is the cultivation of the spirit in the cave. Inscription, no longer completely borrowing the runes of ferocious beasts and birds of prey, but can inscribe some of its own symbols in the body. Array, if the inscription realm imitates other races, carves runes in the body, and can initially deduce the method, then it is a higher level of evolution. Can carve various killing formations into the body, such as the innate chaos formation and the third killing formation in Cao Yasheng's body. Venerable, the ultimate among ordinary monks, detached from the world, with the possibility of becoming a god. Divine fire, ignite the divine fire, transcending mortals, and can plant Tao seeds in the body. The divine fire may be extinguished in later years. Shinichi, possessing the power to transcend the world. Really ignite the divine fire, and the divine fire will not be extinguished until death. Holy sacrifice, a special transitional state. The mana is unstable in the early stage, changing between the divine fire state and the god state. It becomes more stable in the later stages of practice. You can just skip it and not practice. If you practice, you will have smooth sailing in the future. God can regenerate severed limbs, a drop of blood can collapse mountains, and the pressure can overwhelm all low realms. Void Deo, blending with Tao, using the perfect seed as a medium, touching the Tao, you can understand the wonderful principles between heaven and earth. It is the first time to have full contact with Tao, and even give people an illusion, as if you have transformed into the Tao of heaven and earth, touching the source of Tao. Cut me, the full name is cut me, the state of enlightenment, cut off one's own body, and understand one's own way and law. Dunyi, the great monk who leads one side and the leader of the Imperial Pass battlefield. The invincible one in the Borderlands Emperor Pass has never walked in the 9 heavens and 10 earths for years, and is called the Supreme by the people of the 3000 days who. Supreme, standing at the pinnacle of humanity, just emitting coercion can make lower realms unable to hold their heads up. Relying on immortality, they can live for millions of years or more. True immortal, the immortal, the immortal. A drop of blood can maintain immortality for several epochs, immortality, immortality of body, and immortality of soul. The combat power of the mortal immortal at this level is stronger than that of a real immortal. Immortal king, he is the immortal king, the buried king. He is truly immortal, his body is immortal, his soul is immortal, and he is extremely difficult to kill. When someone reads their true name, they will be perceived by them, and visions will appear. Able to step into the long river of time, travel through the past and the future, ignore the power of time, and make small-scale modifications in the long river of time. Quasi-immortal emperor, a realm can be destroyed with a snap of a finger. A single thought is the creation and destruction of a realm. The word is a law that can evolve all things and all laws. You can deceive the secret of heaven by yourself. No matter the past, present, or death, it is all covered with fog, making it difficult for people to see through and watch its life. It can continue to transform. The so-called transformation means that a strong and perfect body cannot be maintained for a long time. Immortal Emperor can refine the source of immortality and seal it. A master of the immortal way can open up the world with a single thought. He can even tear apart the worlds at the moment he opens his eyes. Every move he makes represents destiny. A single thought touches him, even if he dies. May be resurrected. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 90. Ah, is this the realm of the perfect plane? It doesn't look like much. Indeed, it doesn't look very good. I thought it was so outrageous. Result, that's it? Is this not against the heavens? The immortal emperor can be resurrected with just one thought. Such a strong person, how can he not be so strong? Fellow Taoist, you have to see clearly that this is the immortal emperor, the last realm. In our world, the last realm. If the most powerful person does not have this ability, what kind of defiance is he? What kind of strong person is that? Haha, I can only say that fellow Taoists, your vision is narrow and your situation is too small. The terrifying strength of this world can be seen from a young age. In the realm of moving blood, there is the realm of 100,000 kilograms. This is just a small realm. Which fellow Taoist said it before? The horror of this world can be seen just from this point. His, the ultimate realm of 100,000 kilograms. What the hell, this blood-moving realm, is it possible to defeat a large number of monks from all over the world? The key is, this is only the first level. Although there is no specific description of what follows, it can already be seen in this blood-moving realm that this practice system is heaven-defying. Later, when you reach the realm of innateness, a drop of blood can collapse a mountain range, which shows how powerful this practice system is. Can a drop of blood collapse a mountain? Gee, it's really scary. A true immortal, a drop of blood can last for several epochs, making him immortal, his body is immortal, and his soul is immortal. Tisk tisk, as expected, none of the immortals is bad. Although this performance is terrifying, I still feel that this practice system is somewhat flawed. In the supreme realm, does one need to rely on immortality to live for millions of years? Tisk tisk, this supreme realm should be regarded as the ceiling of the human realm, right? In our realm of cultivation, it should be like the Mahayana period. How many years can a monk in the Mahayana period live? Anyway, living for 1,000,000 years shouldn't be a problem, right? Well, actually it's almost the same. In terms of realm, that's it. In fact, I feel that in comparison, the combat power of this perfect plane should be terrifying. At this time, countless people were looking at the realm of this perfect plane, and they were discussing this one by one. Just as everyone was discussing. At this time, it was seen that the scene turned. Shi Hao, the son of destiny, finally, come out. This is a wild world, an ancient period. Here, savage beasts and ferocious beasts are everywhere. Heroes rise together, thousands of tribes stand, saints compete for hegemony, and the world is in chaos. Shi Hao is a small mountain village in the lower realm. The child of Shikan. His father doesn't know, and neither does his mother. He just lives so heartlessly. But obviously, deep down in his heart, he still wants to know who his parents are. In Shikan, there is a sacrifice spirit. The sacrificial spirit is a willow tree. However, this willow tree is a bit weird. Only one wicker is left, and the rest looks lifeless. This sacrificial spirit is called the willow god by Shi Hao. This willow god, it seemed that he did not reject this name, so he allowed Shi Hao and others to call it this name. At first, no one knew the strangeness of this willow god, until once again, Shi Hao was almost caught by a vicious beast, and the sacrificial spirit finally took action. With one twitch of the willow stick, the skin of the ferocious beast was ripped open. The willow god was so powerful that it was simply terrifying. Shi Hao wanted to ask about his life experience. The willow god said that he could only tell him after he reached the extreme realm of moving blood. The so-called the ultimate realm of moving blood is to reach the most perfect state in the first realm. And the perfection of this first realm is not so easy. But obviously, as a son of fate, Shi Hao's physique should also have a kind of defiance. His talent, that extreme state, has finally been reached. Until today. He can finally ask Lu Shen about his identity. In fact, Lu Shen doesn't know Shi Hao's identity. However, Lu Shen can make Shi Hao remember. Then it was a world like a fairyland. This was a scene that Shi Hao had experienced before but had not remembered. Now, it was all revealed by Lu Shen. He saw the fairy mountain pavilions and pavilions with a simple and vast atmosphere. As if it has existed for hundreds of millions of years. There are the sun, moon, and stars, there are ancient evils. And the gods, and the ancient ancestors. This is the ceremony of worshipping the heaven. The whole country worships the heaven, the momentum is so huge. And at this time, one of the young women was holding a swaddled baby in her arms. The baby was laughing and stretching out its little hands. Its big eyes were very similar to Shi Hao. There was no doubt that this was Shi Hao. This it was his past memory, but he didn't remember it and kept it in his subconscious. Now, it was inspired by Lu Shen. At this time, it was seen that the picture turned, and another picture appeared in Shi Hao's mind. It was a huge. The lake is clear and green, and the aura is so rich that it seems to be a liquid. Countless rare and exotic beasts can be touched here, and there are even ancient relics. There are countless people hunting here, each one is extremely powerful, and the blood is vigorous. Just look at it. At one glance, I felt frightened. There was an old man, with a bow and an arrow. He shot an extremely powerful Luen bird to death, released his precious blood, and drank it for his grandson. And this old man's grandson was still in his infancy. Shi Hao in the middle. When countless people saw this, their scalps went numb, their eyes widened, and they felt incredible. Good guy, have you been drinking the blood of ancient divine birds since you were a child? Damn it, what kind of family is this? So scary. Having been fed this kind of stuff since childhood, are you really not afraid of being overstuffed? Hiss, what kind of family is this? How many damn things has Shi Hao drank? Just a drop of the precious blood of such a divine bird would be robbed by countless people outside, but now it is used to feed a baby? It's absolutely terrifying. By the way, Shi Hao was so rich when he was a child, and his grandfather was so powerful. Judging from the surrounding environment, he should have been a great leader. Why is he living in a deserted village now? Indeed, after drinking such terrifying divine blood since he was a child, it stands to reason that when he grows up, Shi Hao will be more terrifying and powerful. Why is this? At this moment, countless people looked at the Dao gold list, and everyone was a little surprised. It felt very strange. Just when everyone was discussing, at this time, listen, in the picture, another old man looked like this. Seeing the scene, he smiled slightly and said, our royal lineage is really prosperous in this life, with heroes emerging in large numbers. This little thing is no more than a baby, and he can drink the blood of divine birds. Maybe in the future he won't be much worse than Year. In the future, he might be able to suppress Bawang and intimidate all major races. Speaking of this Year, you can see that the picture falls on a boy about 3 years old. The child has a handsome face and full of nobility. Although he is 3 years old, he has an extraordinary bearing. The most important thing is that this child has such an extraordinary temperament. A pair of eyes. Ordinary people only have one eye with one pupil, but a child has 2 pupils in one eye. A person with double pupils. The ancient saint has a different appearance. Although he is young, his divine light flows, and he has a vague majesty. A child who can, a baby who drank the blood of a divine bird, was born with double pupils. This clan is incredible, incredible. At this moment, countless people took a breath and felt incredible. What kind of big clan is this? What kind of bloodline is this that defies the heavens? Are those with double eyes born? If it were in an ordinary world without the means to practice, these eyes would be nothing, at most abnormal. However, in this world of cultivation, whether it is to cultivate immortality or something else, these eyes Hitomi, they are all amazing beings. Those with double eyes? Hiss, what a natural phenomenon, the ancient emperor's dharma. Terrible, this Shi Hao clan is simply unbelievable. The older generation has people who can shoot divine birds. The younger generation has babies who dare to drink the blood of gods and have double pupils. It's amazing, simply amazing. By the way, shouldn't such a powerful family be reduced to a background and be slapped in the face by the son of luck? Tisk, boy, you already have a way to die. At this time, countless people were discussing and sighing. Shi Hao's clan is really powerful. At this moment, the scene turned, the young couple were talking. At the same time, they also discovered Shi Hao's extraordinary power. Shi Hao was sleepy, but there was a faint aura of runes coming from his body. The couple had some guesses, but they were not sure. After some investigation, His, supreme bone, heaven, born, the man was shocked and looked at his son in disbelief. What is the supreme bone? Some of the very powerful people in the human race have the opportunity to give birth to sacred bones, appear with divine marks, and have their own exclusive magical powers. This kind of divine mark is generally extremely powerful, because it is born with birth. With this magical power, one can travel across the world, and is called the supreme bone. And their son was born with this supreme bone. A pair of twins holy. Above is Shi, the man with double pupils. Below is Shi Hao, the most powerful person. Seeing this, countless people took a breath. Good guy, supreme bone? Is there such a setting? This Shi Hao is indeed extraordinary. Alas, speaking of which, Shi Hao has never used the supreme bone before? Could it be that the treasure has concealed itself? Maybe it's possible. The divine pattern has faded away, but it's just not time for Shi Hao to activate it yet. The one with double eyes, the supreme bone. Tisk tisk, this stone clan is going to defy the heavens. Is this Shi Hao's golden finger? Really outrageous. This golden finger, what the hell, we can't envy it, nor can we learn from it. How to learn this? You can't learn this. Countless people smiled bitterly. Sure enough, they can't learn this issue's golden finger, nor can they understand the simulation. Supreme bone. Although I don't know why or what it means, I can probably figure it out after thinking about it. Now you know what it is. There are magical powers in the world of cultivation, and magical powers can also be divided into strengths and weaknesses. The existence of possessing the supreme bone is equivalent to having the most powerful innate magical power. With such a heaven-defying advantage, when it grows up, it will become how terrible? Countless people thought like this. At this moment, the scene changed again. Because Shi Hao's grandfather was going to find blood for Shi Hao to strengthen his bones, to strengthen his body, to lay the foundation, and to kill him. After finding a powerful descendant of Pixiu, Bawan was shocked. There was no way, Shi Xiling, Shi Hao's father, had to find and rescue him. His wife refused, so she had to go with him no matter what. There was no way, we could only go together. Went. Although the children were still young, no one in this Shi country dared to take advantage of their children. So they went. Of course, their children had someone to take care of them. That was Shi Yi's mother. They were close, they are a family after all. They left. But Shi Yi noticed the supreme bone in Shi Hao's body. He was born with supernatural powers, and his double eyes could see through everything in the world. Even if he could clearly see the supreme bone in Shi Hao's body, it was not difficult thing. Just. You said, there is a bone in his body? Full of primitive runes, his mother was a little surprised and felt incredible. Yes, Shi Yi nodded. His mother trembled, seemed to have thought of something, and blurted out, born, supreme. After a long time, she was startled and confused, and solemnly told Shi Yi, don't tell anyone about this. Shi Yi nodded naturally. After all, this is his mother. Whatever his mother said, that's what happened. A few months passed in a flash. That Shi Hao was also extraordinary. That Shi Hao's mother was very good to Shi Hao and treated him as her own. It was as if he was really cultivating a right-hand man for his child. In the end, he even brought Shi Hao to his residence and took care of him together with Shi Yi. Madam, I want to go to the garden to see the red-feathered crane. A man said, it is very beautiful, its body is bright red like fire, and its song is very beautiful. Shi Hao took the ant's hand and his voice was as clear as a lark. Okay. But does Auntie know that the Luan bird and the five-colored peacock king are much more beautiful than the red-feathered crane? Can Auntie take you to see the Luan bird and the five-colored peacock king? The ant said gently. Okay. Okay. Auntie is the best, Shi Hao is very happy. Little brother, let's go play. I heard there are a lot of kids in the backyard, Shihao said to Shiyi again. Not going, Shiyi refused. Then I'm going to play, Shihao ran away in a hurry. It can be said that his childhood was very happy. Although his parents and grandfather were not here, his aunt was there and his little brother was here. Although the little brother was always cold, but, the little brother is also a good person. The picture is harmonious and warm. However, at this moment, the picture changes. The aunt took Shihao to watch the birds. Madam, where is the Luan bird? The aunt took Shihao into a secret room. You'll see it soon, the aunt smiled softly, with a gentle smile, like a spring breeze. However, the next second, a rune appeared directly in her hand, and hit Shihao directly. Buzz, but what she didn't expect was that Shihao's body lit up with light, and the precious bone shone brightly, and he actually directly crossed out the rune. Worthy of being the supreme bone, the aunt was surprised, but she still clapped her hands. The next second, a shadow approached quietly and tied Shihao to the stone bed. Auntie, what are you doing? Shihao was a little confused and at a loss. However, poof. The woman raised the knife and opened a gash in Shihao's chest. Blood flowed out. Pain. Auntie, it hurts. Shihao was in pain and burst into tears. His tears fell instantly. Good however, it won't hurt for a while, it won't hurt for a while. The woman who was beating was still talking gently, but the movements of her hands were non-stop. The blade of the knife flashed with a cold light. Under the flesh and blood, the light was exposed, a bone appeared in the flesh and blood, the runes flickered, and the complex how strange. This woman actually planned to dig out Shihao's supreme bones. In order for her son to be honored in heaven and on earth, and for her son to have no one in his way in the future. Even though her son already has double pupils, he must be extraordinary. However, the appearance of Shihao's supreme bone made her aware of the crisis. This supreme bone did not grow on her son, which is what she could not tolerate. This supreme bone must grow on her son. Her son did not have it, and others don't even think about it. Even if she doesn't have a son, she will snatch it from others and graft it onto her son. Even, she doesn't care that the person is just a few months old. She doesn't care about the friendly calls of the aunt. She just wanted to use the knife to take out the supreme bone in one stroke. Aunt. Shihao, who was dying and breathless, lay on the stone bed, with crystal tears rolling down his face. He didn't understand why his aunt was doing this. He didn't understand why the aunt wanted to remove the bones from his body. That kind of pain is heartbreaking, like tearing apart the soul. He watched the aunt comforting his child softly, and he watched the aunt glance coldly and ignore her. He finally understood what an aunt is, what a relative is, what family affection is. Everything is fake, it's all illusion. Mother, at this moment, he whispered, calling for his true relatives. His pale face was full of tears, his consciousness gradually fell into blur, and he was completely unconscious.